like that. But that's down with the kids.
Wait, what do you want us to do?
You know, like how you normally have like on the picture, like it's a picture of the poster of the film that we're talking about. Instead, just because we're not technically reviewing anything, just have a picture of us just doing the Fortnite floss. Because then the kids will see that automatically. Google will recognise it and they'll start giving us money for it because it's Fortnite related. We could just talk about Fortnite for half an hour. I mean, like we could spend the entirety of it just talking about Fortnite.
So, guys, in Fortnite news, the Carlton dance, they're being sued for it.
That pissed me off because that's not okay because you can't copyright. I can do the Carlton right now and that's not... He did it on a show, but you can't, like...
Hang on, FBI, Zach just hit the...
You're recording this, aren't you, you bastard? You bastard. If I do the Carlton in this room right now, I can't be sued for it.
Yeah, there will just be like a red dot that goes on your forehead from out the window.
No, it'd be the scene from Predator where it's like he looks up and he's got the 3 dots, and then his head just turns to mush.
You'll just open the door, Carlton will be there, and you'll just be like, clever girl. He just bites your head off.
Oh, I found Alfonso. What? Alfonso Maltaman? No, that's Ricardo Montalban.
Caron's the only Alfonso that I need in my life.
Because I know his real name is Alfonso. And I said Ricardo Montalban, and that's the guy who played Khan in Star Trek. And I'm an idiot for saying that. But it does not matter. I think you can't actually like pattern a dance move.
I believe you can.
Unless if like you're Beyonce, I don't think the Carlton, I don't think he has enough ownership over it, given Fresh Prince hasn't been on the air for like nearly, 20 years now? It was in the 90s, wasn't it? It wasn't the 2000s, was it?
No, I think it was 90s to...
Yes, that's at least 20 years where we've been without Fresh Prince. Which is a horrible world, really.
I mean, a world without Fresh Prince, is it even worth living? I mean, although it has freed Will Smith up to play the genie, so for that I'll be forever thankful.
Before we get into that, I'd like to make a confession.
If you dare say you liked the genie, then I'm
Oh no!
Okay.
No, we'll get into that in a minute. I don't know all the words to the opening to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I get so far and then I just lose it.
Well, Zach, this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there, and tell you how it became
the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I can do like a little bit after that, and then I lose it. I should just be the guy.
I lose it a little bit in the middle, but then
I should be the guy who does the keyboard. Because there's some pretty sick
I always
keyboard
picture the
riffs.
cat doing that, you know, the
keyboard cat.
Keyboard cat.
I like the keyboard cat.
Yeah.
I always miss the keyboard cat.
Whenever that comes on in the club, as it were, it's always a...
Yeah, that's a good song. It's a good beat. That's never ever come on in the club, has it?
I'm talking about Fresh Prince.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the keyboard cat.
I mean, if there is a club where the keyboard cat comes on, please
call me.
Please contact us. Let us know. We'll be there instantaneously.
But no, the last time Fresh Prince was on, that was good because literally everyone fucking knew it. Although I didn't know all of it, I could just blend in and pretend I knew it.
You could pretend.
I had seen an episode.
Be that shot from Ghost Protocol as Tom Cruise. He puts on the
hood and just walks
and then he just
into the thing. But I think the genie needed a hood because he looks appalling.
Although apparently he is going to be CG for the most part. That's just his human form.
Which I thought was stupid because I thought although it looks awful that he is human, it's still quite a bold move. And it does very much set it apart from Robin Williams, whereas if he does eventually go big and blue, then it's like, I'm just going to be thinking of Robin Williams the whole time.
I saw a thing that's like, they're just trying to force Will Smith and actually like casting Aladdin as the actual ethnicity and stuff down our throats, because then when the film's bad on purpose, everyone will be like, oh, now let's just do it back to the originals. And it's like, do they realise that Disney want to make all the money off this? Like that?
Well, it will. It'll blow up. I mean, it's in a release window. I think it's in... I'm desperate to say it's in June. There's not very much... I have a
feeling it's summer, yeah.
Other than Godzilla, there's not very much that's been confirmed for June yet. So I think it will do quite alright, particularly if they're looking
Hobbs
for like
and Shaw, a Fast and Furious story.
No, it's Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Oh, don't get me started, but... Like, I think it will still make a lot of money, because it's that family window. Lots of people want to go and see... What can I take my kids to? I can't take them to go and see the big monster movie. I can take them to go and see Aladdin. I mean, my dad would take you to go and see Godzilla because it's fucking awesome, but everyone likes Aladdin, even if he does look awful.
Also, I was meaning to tell you with my PC back at the uni place, it means that I can't really edit this, so it's literally as soon as we start recording, which we have been now for 5 minutes 20.
Because you're just a horrible person.
It means that nothing can be edited out. So unless we really, really fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, Zach starts going on his certain rants again and some other things.
I'd like to actually see Bill Maher be murdered really publicly in the street.
Yeah, it's things like that I can't edit out, Zach. It's really things like that I just can't.
No, but that's an important thing, because he told people how to grieve, and he told people that Stanley's death didn't matter. So die in the street, alone, cold, and not having had a nice dinner before you've died.
All Zach's words are his own. Got to bring this one back again.
If we ever do merch, imagine if we get to that golden point in the sky where we do merch, you could just do a T-shirt that says all Zach's words are his own. Because I think that'll become one of the catchphrases that the fans will love.
I think at this point we just need a sound effect that signifies it, like a second long, so I don't have to waste my breath on emphasising to people.
It just comes in.
Yeah, and then everyone's like, oh, okay, that's the noise.
Like it's and his name is John Cena, and those horns come in. And then you could I say something rude and inappropriate, and that comes in.
Did you see John Cena or Graham Norton?
I did. I was very happy for him.
I felt quite sorry for him because Jamie Oliver started talking about the British wrestlers, and then John Cena goes and then the audience cheered, and then John Cena goes, and I'm John Cena, and they were just quiet.
Oh, so, mate. I would have cheered for John Cena.
Just been like the one dude in the crowd.
Because I think
whole Citizen Kane just
do a Shia LaBeouf, just claps solidly for 10 minutes. Like, people on this crew and the audience have asked you to stop. John Cena has asked you to stop, but you keep on going. just so he knows. Because although he'd be annoyed in that brief moment, he'd go to bed later that night and he'd think, that guy cared enough.
Just makes me think a bit of like the bit in The Lobster where he's there on the so the coach is like, but he still thought his excuse was really good.
I haven't watched The Lobster in so long.
No.
And lots of people are rewatching it.
I rewatched it yesterday.
Yes, you've rewatched it, and I'm desperate to rewatch it because it's fucking perfect.
Nah, although the music is so much like the Me channel from Wii. I forgot how
that
much
in your
it was.
Letterboxd review, and I was like, don't make me think of this. Don't make me think of it. And then it just
don't do this, please.
Like, it made me wish for Connor and Lydia just to be able to do the do 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 do, and they just join in and do it, but they sadly weren't there. Normally I do that and they come running. Like, even if they're deep in work, they just come running and they just start. But,
I mean, who knows? They may be running from up north now. They might just have an ETA of like 3 days.
Yeah, give them time and they will arrive. It's like in Terminator 2, he walks a long while, but he eventually does catch up to you. No, it follows, but you don't have to have sex to pass it on.
I was thinking more Stryker at the end of X-Men Origins. He's like worn his shoes out, everything. He's just still walking.
Right, this is something that I'd like to make a point of, because this was a deep, deep controversy that I think occurred between me and Jake. We were recently on a trip to York. It was a lovely coach ride. He slept for most of it. We got great pictures of him. And we actually drove past some of those cooling towers that you get like a
at the beginning of The Simpsons, like
the
power plant.
I don't know what
stuff.
they're called, the power plant stuff.
Yeah.
And I made a reference and I said, "Oh, I bet Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Deadpool are on top of that, and they're having a fight." And you wouldn't speak to me for a solid 20 minutes after that.
I think we just cause.
And you think it's horrible when I make jokes about X-Men Origins, but you do it all the time. You've done it 3 times in the past.
I do it tastefully.
I can't recall the jokes, but you've done it 3 times. I made that very tasteful because before you were quiet on me, you did distinctly laugh. You were trying hard not to laugh.
I was dead silent. Don't you give me this try not to laugh thing.
Your eyes said differently. I can see you want to let it out.
I tape my mouth shut like they tape Wade Wilson's mouth shut.
Exactly.
Thank you.
They finally found a way to shut you up. But Jafar looks hot though.
Are we back on this?
Yes, because we will keep on, and that's entertainment related, even if we're off the towel pick for anything.
Well, now we're exactly at the 10-minute mark, I'm just going to say hello and welcome back to the Snowy Popcorn Podcast. This is the second annual Christmas edition, and we don't really have that much Christmassy stuff to talk about.
No.
To be honest.
Because Jake refused to watch the Christmas Chronicles.
Excuse me?
Which
have you seen the Christmas Chronicles?
Which would have been
I pitched it to you, young
which
man,
would have
and
been
you
a
shot
beautiful
me down.
moment. Which would have been a teachable moment for Kurt Russell. But we'll do one in the new year. It'll be big and...
Not for the Christmas Chronicles, though.
No, I mean, it'll be a big, grand thing.
We'll do a big extravaganza.
And we'll have a monthly schedule planned out so this actually works.
Yeah, we have a few deadlines when we get back after New Year's, but hopefully we'll do one very early on in the new year, and that'll subside all our 3 fans.
We'll have a new schedule for when we film these, and we'll have a new schematic for how it is recorded, and it will just sound cooler for those 3 people.
You say how it's recorded.
We know, what we're saying.
Okay, I thought you made it sound like it's just going to be like we whistle, a mic drops from the ceiling, and then we start talking into it like we're a boxing commentator or something.
No, there's going to be one day where we get Stephen Hawking voice emulators, and we type everything we want to say really quickly. So you've got the typing, then you've got the weird voice emulator, and that will be an episode, and we'll do it when we talk about like Aquaman.
Only if my voice can have an Irish accent. Otherwise, I don't want to know.
No, but it's Stephen Hawking. You have to have the Stephen Hawking one.
Well, yeah, but they'll get confused between...
Yeah, but then that's
both
an even
voices
more interesting thing. They've got to listen more carefully just to know who's who. And they've got to think...
Well, no, because all I'll have to be saying the whole time, I'll just have the one phrase typed out and just be pressing enter, is Zach's words on his own. Because you'll try and muddle it up and make it sound like I'm saying shit. I'm not saying anything. I don't want
Jake,
anyone to die.
I'm
not wanting Bill Maher to...
Zach's words
No,
are entirely his own.
not at all.
Zach's words are entirely his own. Zach's words are entirely his own.
You just hear me sigh every time you just press enter. Oh, for God's sake.
There comes a point where he just distinctly walks off and you can hear it. And he's gone to make a cup of tea and it's just I go on then. But Jafar is hot. Man is a man.
Life is short and Jafar is hot.
Shut up.
It's the same rain.
Shut up.
It's the same rain.
Shut up. Shut up.
Probably won't get
it. Shut up. I know you'll get it. It'll piss me off that he will. It'll piss me off that you've brought that back up. And I'm trying to talk about a man who wears a turban very well. Whatever it is that Jafar wears. It looks like a hat. It looks like a turban. I don't want to be culturally inappropriate.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting involved in that. Yeah.
He looks attractive, and I think that's a good way to go for Jafar, because I've always found him to be sympathetic.
I like how they've gone for unknowns, because it's like, well, apart from Will Smith, then it's like, if obviously they wouldn't, but this is just the first name that's come to my head. If they cast Tom Cruise, for example, for starters, it'll be completely inappropriate, but I only see Tom Cruise as Tom Cruise or Ethan Hunt.
Pretty fucked.
And then, whereas here, if it's an unknown, then they're then seen as Aladdin for the rest of their life, even when they try and do other things. So it's good for us, but it's awful for them. And that's all that matters. That's all that matters at the end of the day. As long as I go to the theatre and I enjoy myself, I don't care if you were having an awful time on set.
And that really is what the Me Too movement is all about. But yes, there is another thick boy on Hollywood, though. There is another thick young man. And that is Sonic. That
thick
boy.
As in how wide...
Yeah, those are muscular legs. Those are muscular thighs, and those are nasty shoes that he's wearing. And I love that. I think it was Sony. Was it Sony? Was it Fox? Put up the picture of him holding the sign.
I think it's Fox.
Saying, "Can't a guy work out? See you next year." It was Fox. Yes, it was Fox, because Sony did not do it.
No. Although with Detective Pikachu, they've made him look all furry and shit. And that looks all right. Yep. But then with Sonic, it's like, why not just leave him animated like he is in everything? I get it with Pokemon, they're converting it from 2D to 3D.
Yeah. And they're very cute.
But then here, it's like, you already have 3D models, and it's like, why make him furry? Unless this is the world-renowned, critically acclaimed Sonic Unleashed, where he turns into...
The werehog.
The werehog. Then I don't want to know if he's all...
Did you ever play Sonic Unleashed?
Yeah, I did. I've got it on the Wii.
Right,
got it on the Wii.
I'm going to beat you in a minute. It gets me because I feel really bad for Fox because Warner Bros did it amazingly with Detective Pikachu and everyone went wild about it. Everyone was like, fuck yeah, this is awesome.
They were probably sat there like
right, fuck. Wait until Sonic comes on and then everyone hates it. Have you seen the picture where he's lying down in the car? It's his face on show as well.
I haven't seen the one.
Oh, it looks awful. His face looks awful.
I've only seen the silhouette and his legs as he opens wide for San Francisco.
His nose looks like a real hedgehog's nose.
I mean, hedgehogs are cute, so...
But I'm expecting a Sonic where he's got a nose like that, and it's like...
It's like this is an audio-only podcast.
Right, well, he's got a long, pointy nose, fine. Well, the viewers will know.
He's
like Boulder will know. No, Boulder will know.
He's like Pinocchio. He's been telling some porky, so he's got like a pointy nose.
Exactly, but not like going too far.
I've been thinking about that a little bit more than I should have done.
What, Sonic or Pinocchio? No.
Pinocchio?
Like, all right.
What the hell's Pinocchio?
I don't know.
But anyway, here, because that could help a lot in a pickle, if you think about it. Because one, don't need to... It solves the tree problem in the world, because you just get him to lie, cut off his nose, and then you have infinite wood.
I don't think it regrows, I think it regresses. Is it like guaranteed that it would regrow?
Well, every time he lies, it grows, doesn't it?
Yeah, but then
if they cut a bit
when
off,
he's telling the truth, like it goes back in.
Yeah, so if they just get him to tell constant bullshit.
Yeah, but it's like, forgive me for being incredibly foul, but it's like your penis. It's like when you become.
Why are you bringing Pinocchio to this phallic thing?
Because when you get hard and someone cuts that off, that doesn't regrow, does it?
Don't say does it.
I don't know. That doesn't regrow. I don't think Pinocchio's nose would regrow. Because it can only go so far.
Zach, these are very different contexts, and I don't think that you ever want this to be quoted back to you, what you're saying. You'll be there, sat with your grandkids one day, someone will come up to you and say, how dare you, sir?
Talk about
how dare you
Pinocchio's
talk about
nose.
Pinocchio like that?
Hey, I'm just going to join that esteemed group of men who thought it would be a good idea in Shrek 2 to insinuate that Pinocchio was a cross-dresser.
I'm a real boy.
No, it's because he's wearing a thong.
Yeah.
And they say, "Are you wearing ladies' underwear?" And he's like, "It doesn't go out." And they go, "Well, are you?" He goes, "I most certainly am not." And then they show it off, and it's like, that was in a children's film.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like you don't get that anymore. I miss those days.
But anyway,
I'm
talking about infinite.
You don't get the days where in the Star Wars the Ewok movies, which is meant for children, you could have Wilfred Brimley when a machine doesn't work. He goes, fuck, and then he walks off. You don't get that in a kids' movie anymore. Because no one complains about Wilfred Brimley saying the F word in the Ewok movies. And those are
because I don't think it's because anyone saw them.
Enough people saw them, that's what matters. But you had a point and you were going to make it.
Anyway, I think like just infinite would just get him to... I mean, like, you're sacrificing one sentient toy. I mean...
But does it hurt when you cut off his nose?
Just give him some paracetamol.
You're one of those people who, like, when in Return of the Jedi, Gonk gets turned upside down, he gets his feet set on fire.
Oh, no.
You're one of those people who says, just give him some paracetamol. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
if it still hurts, give him some ibuprofen as well.
They are alive. They just you should never mix paracetamol and ibuprofen. That's actually quite dangerous. That's a bit of a PSA. You should never mix those.
Turns out there is a point to this podcast. And it's to inform the masses not to mix paracetamol with ibuprofen.
You said something that was potentially harmful to sentient puppets and human beings alike. I know there is the whole...
I never said for human consumption in my defence. In my defence, I said...
I mean, like, you basically said... You said it as though you were offering advice to someone. I'm here, and I'm sure that they heard it too. Because droid lives do matter, as L3 in Solo really taught us. Droid lives do matter, and you can't, for that reason, give them both paracetamol and ibuprofen. Because apparently it does bad things to you. Or at least that's what my mother told me. And I tend to trust my mother. She's a wise woman.
She is a very wise woman.
Yeah. So yeah.
Wise beyond her years.
Exactly. So don't, as Jake would have you to do, take paracetamol.
Only to Pinocchio, right?
Yes, but Pinocchio is a sentient being. He feels. There's a reason he gets so scared at the end and he drowns.
I mean, if anything, if he did drown, the wood would soak it up, and then it'd be like, well, you'd need to harvest the wood before it rotted. It would expand the wood, and then there would be more wood to harvest.
Or they do what they did in episode 15 of season 1 of Once Upon a Time, where it turns out that he comes to the real world and then he becomes the somewhat anti-hero as he had been on the show at that point. August, the mysterious writer who appeared in Storybrooke. That was a little thing for the people who enjoyed that show. I, in my naivety as a young lad, thought that was an okay show, and I realised how wrong I was, and I realised how much I've upset Jake. But for people who enjoy Once Upon a Time...
So thank you for joining us for the Snow Popcorn Podcast. It's been a hell of a time. Goodbye.
Look, it was a legitimate show that lots of people enjoyed.
Still going.
No, it's not. It's over. They did the final season. Now it's over.
No, because they kept it going without Jennifer Morrison.
No, they got rid of her.
Yeah.
They did one final season with the young boy grown up, and now it's over.
I'll have to speak to Holly about
that. Because it was like marketed as the final season. So.
Oh, well, I hope it's the final series, because I'm sick of people talking about it.
Oh, I don't think Holly will like you.
I'm sick of it.
I mean, Sebastian Stan was on that, and you know it's good quality when Sebastian Stan's on it, because that guy's a hell of an actor, and he's not overrated at all. I don't like Sebastian Stan, I'm sorry, I just feel like he's just a moody face, and yeah, I get you, the guy works out really hard, and I envy that, how much he tries, but he's just a moody face.
I think his best performance, Marvel-wise, was probably Civil War.
But even there, he's just like...
Oh yeah, I'm not saying he... Well, to be fair to him, they don't give him... Actually, no, I'd say performance-wise...
They give him a lot, and he doesn't do a lot.
No, I wouldn't say they give him a lot.
I think they gave him enough. Like in that first scene where he sees Steve, and it's like, you're remembering who you are, and it's like, yeah, they could be a little bit more there. The only one who's actually trying is Chris Evans.
And you can tell that he's the one that wants to be there
the least. And to think, and they're optioning Sebastian Stan as a replacement for the bloody character. I won't go and watch his movies. I won't. I just won't. I don't care. I didn't see Winter Soldier in the theatre. Didn't see it until a year after it came out. I won't ever watch Sebastian Stan's one.
I'm annoyed I missed Winter Soldier in the theatre, because that would have been really good.
Incredible. I watched the elevator scene again last night, just by random, because it was on my suggestion. I was just like, oh, what a movie. What a movie.
I have a bone to pick with the Russos, though.
What's your bone?
There's also a bone to pick with Owen Wilson and Matt Dillon as well.
What's Owen Wilson done wrong?
You, Me and Dupree, what was going on there? That is the first film I've passionately despised.
I'll give you this, I've never seen it.
Don't. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of everyone's time. And it's like the Russos. Look, they've done some good shit, all right? Yeah. They've done some good shit. Arrested Development.
They did Community as well, didn't they?
I think they did a few episodes of Community.
I think they did a few.
They did a few... They've done a few comedy shows,
yeah.
And then they're also doing the bloody Marvel films now. It's like, all right, you're doing good, you're doing all right for yourself, young man. That's something to make a father proud. And then you go and make You, Me and Dupree. What's going on there? What's going on there?
It's like when you've got a relationship or you marry someone and you meet the in-laws, and there's often the stringent father who's either like, oh, so what do you do? Or, oh, hey man, what do you do? And you say to him, I made You, Me and Dupree. What are you supposed to say to the man when you say that?
I have vowed from yesterday, from when I saw The House That Jack Built, any time I see a film with Owen Wilson in it, Matt Dillon, or by the Russos, and the woman, I can't remember her name, from now on, my review's only going to be, I can't forgive them for You, Me and Dupree. No matter how good the film is, that's just going to be what my review is.
That did confuse me when you put that on your House That Jack Built review. I thought, is he just trying to... Is that a reference to something in the film? And I thought, why would that reference You, Me and Dupree?
I do have a... well, I mean, it's the main actor. But I do have a thing...
but why would the film reference it?
I do have a thing to say about House That Jack Built. Lars von Trier has this big sequence in it.
No spoilers.
No, it's no spoilers.
Because I am desperate to watch this at some point.
It's almost like a Jawa sequence.
Oh.
Ish. Except it doesn't layer things on top of each other. Where he just references his own films.
Prick.
And it's just like, dude. I mean, he references like...
That's like in Halloween
one,
3 when the kid is watching the first Halloween movie. That's just rude.
It's like... Except Spielberg had more dignity in it. But when Spielberg did all this stuff in The Oasis for Ready Player One, and 90% of it was the stuff he did, that's just because of how influential he was. He couldn't avoid it. But here...
I don't think he would have had a say in that at all. I don't think they would
No,
say,
because...
you're going in it no matter what.
Yeah,
particularly given how it is in the book.
Yeah, the writer of the book, what's his name?
Ernest Cline.
Ernest Cline, that's it. He said that Spielberg was very much on trying to dampen down all of his other stuff in it, but yeah. So damn you, Lars von Trier. I mean, you do odd films that I'm glad are being made. Like
you were glad you sat through Nymphomaniac volumes 1 and 2.
You've done some good films.
I'm very hesitant about watching this.
Right, this is another PSA to the masses. Never watch Nymphomaniac Part 1 or Part 2, ever.
Why?
Ever.
Because I've heard they're good, just besides the
If you watch it, only watch Part 1.
Oh, really? Mm.
Because Part 1 actually has some good points in it. Like, storyline, plot-wise, but then the second one...
And they do full-on do it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
And in the first one, I think Chris Stuckman talks about it well in his review. A lot of people are calling it pornographic, and he says it's not pornographic in the first one because they're not glorifying it at all. It's just a thing the characters are doing. In the second one, however, he feels, and I agree, that they are sort of glorifying it, and it is just a bit too over the top and a bit, yeah. So if you watch it, only watch part 1, even though Willem Dafoe's in part 2, but...
Oh, Willem Dafoe. Does he get his thing out?
No. He's in it for all of 20 seconds.
Oh, you kidding? What's even the fucking point?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like what the first bloody John Wick did. Just waste him.
Yeah, so don't watch it. Oh,
I've had enough of society wasting Willem Dafoe.
Yeah. I loved him in Florida Project.
He should have won an Oscar for that.
He was a good man.
And he doesn't ask for anything in return. He just says, thank you for letting me take part.
Although, my recommendation, because it's a Christmas episode, I'm not going to recommend a Christmas film.
Recommend as much as you want, dude, because I'm going to recommend shit later.
Yeah, but it is going to be a Lars von Trier film, because I've been dying to talk about it with you for ages, so I'm going to recommend it. But anyway, this is the Christmas episode, so we're supposed to be spreading joy and
recommend
happiness
the
and
Lars von
positivity.
Trier, because that's what more people need to see.
Oh no, I'll recommend it at the end when people do.
Fine.
Yeah, see, I'm a tease
You're a
when
tease.
it comes to recommendations.
You're that guy who sends out the photos and says, want more? Follow on my private Instagram.
I'm the dude who'll go to like your wedding for free, take a load of pictures for you. As a wedding photographer, I'm not just going to intrude on your wedding, I promise.
Can we please make a short film where you just break into a wedding and you just start taking pictures of people? And you'll be like, that scene in Come Find Me is like, you don't know anyone here, do you?
That has actually given me a really good idea.
Can we please just make that as a short film? You just turn up at a social
we're planning
event.
this now. So it's essentially just going to be like me as a photographer going around this wedding being like, oh, hey guys, say cheese and everything. Then at the end, the bride and the groom will be like,
we don't know who you are.
Who is that bloke? And they'll just be like the runoff.
Just have him sprint. Can we please make that? Like, the second we find out anyone we know is getting married, like, if we hate them or if we don't know them, we just find a way to get
Or we actually break into someone's wedding.
We actually break into someone's wedding. We would go down, though, as like in history. Like, these are the guys that broke into someone's wedding. I mean, I know
We'd be more revolutionary.
But
we'd be more revolutionary than bloody Breathless, like by Jean-Luc Godard. We'd be... Don't watch that, by the way.
No, I'm never going to.
I wasn't keen.
Every time Seeley's put that on, I've wanted to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Honest to God.
You know, there's that bit that Seeley was talking about where instead of putting the track down, they had the dude on the wheelchair.
Yeah.
You see his reflection about 100 times
Seriously,
in that scene.
Fucking hell.
And it's sort of like I really don't mind about reflections and stuff in films. Like there's that one in Enchanted where they're all in the hotel mirror, but when it's that obvious, it's
you're
all
doing
you can
something
see.
wrong.
But anyway, let's not hate on the French New Wave too much.
I don't hate the French New Wave. I was just given too much of it to have to deal with in 1 week. I was already tired that week anyway, so resentment. No,
But
just come back from York and it's like, right, now go and talk about French New Wave. And it's like, look. But that's annoying me.
and what time? We've managed to get to half an hour just chatting shit.
Which is wonderful. That's just what we do.
For time codes, I have no clue what I'm gonna put. I'm just gonna put when we actually get to the Christmas stuff.
It's just going to be like a picture of you and me doing gang signs.
No, Zach,
It's going to be a picture
we
of
discussed
you.
this before.
We're going to be flossing.
No, stop.
No, I tell you what we could do. It's just a GIF of, you know, the beginning of Batman and Robin where they're just suiting up. It's just a continuous on loop GIF of that. But then at the end you just put our faces on them. And then I can do, I want a car, chicks dig the car. And then you can say,
I don't want to overdo this joke because it happens about 3 times an episode. But you're listening to the death and slow crumble and of the Sour Popcorn podcast.
I'm not. I think really we're giving it something to evolve from.
This is the assassination of the Sour Popcorn podcast by the coward Zach Leishman. I don't even think you got the reference.
I got the reference.
Okay,
I thought you said assassination. I was like, what?
No, assassination. Assassination Nation, best film of 2018.
Lots of people are giving that a lot of praise, and lots of people are shitting on it. So I don't know whether to watch it or not.
I'll watch it and then see how it goes.
Yeah.
But for the time being, I'm trying to get through as many Coen Brothers films as I can.
You watched A Serious Man, didn't you?
Yeah.
What did you think of that? It's my favourite Coen Brothers film. I love it.
I can't keep. I know this is my Letterboxd review, but I can't keep saying goodbye to Richard Kind.
No, you really can't.
It happened in Bing Bong, and it's happening in pretty much any film. And yeah, he's a bit of a prick in this
he's
one.
such a prick. He wanted to die.
But he only means well at the end of the day.
But it's just, there are so many moments in that film where I just want to hug Michael Stuhlbarg so badly, because it's like, he was screaming what I was screaming. Just like, what is going on? Why is this happening? And I felt so bad for the bloke.
I still prefer his performance in Call Me By Your Name, though.
Oh god, good grief, yeah. But no, I just fucking love that film. I mean, like, it's an incredible Coen Brothers movie.
I watched it on my Coen Brothers collection Blu-ray set,
beautiful set.
And it has hours of behind-the-scenes stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it was really interesting because they were just talking about making like that road, like it was in like period setting, and like they just showed behind-the-scenes footage, and it was like just how Roger Deakins lit the outside bit outside the door where he's talking to the, let's just say, friendly neighbour.
She was friendly.
She was very friendly.
Wish I had a neighbour like that.
But it was just how he put like diffusers and stuff up because the sun was very intense, and they didn't really speak about lighting, but just from like that one behind the scenes shot, you learn so much about it because Roger Deakins is just a master. I mean, like, I did enjoy it. My favourite bit behind the scenes wise is when they spoke about, you know, when the sun's high at his bar mitzvah.
Yeah.
And the camera does all that weird stuff.
Yeah.
He was talking about how they did it and what lens they used and stuff, because Deakins found this specific thing that, and that was very interesting. So go out and get the Coen Brothers Blu-ray set, because it's
I've got very few Coen Brothers movies that I haven't seen. Like, Blood Simple's one.
Yeah, that's very
Buster
good.
Scruggs I haven't seen.
It's all right.
But I've seen... I'm thinking I'm going to like that more than you did, but I've seen so many I love, and they're just the movies I just love to return to. That I can't count how many times I've watched Hail Caesar, even though I don't like it very much.
Why rewatch?
Because it's just I watch it and I just think I should be taking notes. Right, I need to start doing this. I need to start doing that in films that I make. And it's just,
I know I said this to you before on air, and you were just as surprised as I was. But Frances McDormand's married to, I think it's Joel Coen, rather than Ethan. But
I can't tell them apart. I consider them one person.
they are one entity.
Yeah. They look similar as well, like, so that's enough. I mean, that's because they are brothers, but...
It was on It seriously is. I know I keep going on about it, but it's one of my favourite series on YouTube now. It's the ex-famous actor breaks down the most iconic roles, and when they actually get famous, interesting person, like when Jeff Bridges did it, he was talking about working with the Coens.
Yeah.
And he said it was literally like you're on set, you have the script, and then it's like it's not bickering between the brothers on what they're going to do. It's literally just both of them will pitch their idea for it, then they go, oh no, yours is better, and then they'll go with that, and it's just chill, and it's just really relaxed environment on set. And
whereas I can imagine a lot of people, it's just arguments.
Yeah. Like, also, imagine on the set of Yumi and Dupree with the two Russos. they were fist fighting each other.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I don't know, I'm guessing they were. This is a Sour Popcorn exclusive, on-set fights on Yumi and
Scoops
Dupree.
McGee has found this out for us.
Scoops McGee?
Jesus, have you never heard of Scoops McGee? For our entertainment after this is sorted, bloody hell. Scoops McGee is Dan Morrill's alter ego, it's incredible. Have you never seen Scoops McGee?
I've never seen Scoops McGee.
Oh, they used to do clickbait and it was every week. And Dan Morrill would disappear. But Scoops McGee would return. And he would tell you all of the secrets of Hollywood. 9 times out of 10 they were fake, but there was the occasional one where it was like, oh my god, and then Dan would just walk right back in just as Scoops was leaving. It was like, how could you miss him? And it was a great trick every week. I miss Scoops. And they've promised one day they'll bring him back.
So was it he was just completely guessing and it would be coincidence that one of them...
Yeah, but he did a very funny accent while he did it, and it was quite funny. And he wore a hat, and he made
While
you
he
believe
did
was...
it, Scoops McGee sounds like it's his own person.
Scoops McGee, like, is his own character in a way.
Character?
Or person, I don't know.
I thought he was an actual person. It's just a shame that Dan
Right, well,
Morrill
we're going to sit you down and we're going to show you him. Show you Scoops McGee, because it's just something I think you need to experience.
But anyway, with Jeff Bridges talking about like working on Big Lebowski and stuff, he says a lot of people are like, oh, how improvised was that? Because it just feels natural. And he's like, no, they're just such geniuses that it was word for word written in the script. It's just they went through it loads of times to just make it feel natural. God damn it, I love the Coens.
I haven't watched The Big Lebowski in years, and it really upsets me.
I just love like naked Julianne Moore flying through the room. It's just like, why?
I genuinely want to do it one day. Like if I ever am cool enough to have my own house, I want to do like my bathroom mirror has got the Times magazine, just so I can walk past that every morning and just have that little.
I love how it's Mark Pellegrino who's the one that
I love Mark Pellegrino. He's gone downhill, but I love the bloke.
But I watched a video essay, I think it was by Thomas Flight. It was talking about the Coen brothers' side characters and how to make it impact, and then how some of them literally only have like 25 seconds of screen time, and yet are still some of the most memorable people in the film. Yeah, it was very interesting. So
there's like it's like a thing I was watching the other day, and it was like the phenomenon of like side characters that like steal a film, and like they were talking about how like this is less so a side character, but it was like the two ones that really stuck out to me. It's like Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah.
Like, less of a side character, but still like in very late, in briefly for the film, but it's like steals the whole thing completely. And I know you haven't seen it, but there's a scene in Hell or High Water where there's a waitress who just comes up to them and she's like, "What don't you want?" And they're like, "What?" And she just talks Jeff Bridges down to nothingness. And that's not an easy task. It's absolutely hilarious. That's one of the best scenes I've ever seen in a very serious Oscar-winning film. And it's just like, oh god. This came out of this, and it's beautiful.
There's something that confuses me about Jeff Bridges, because in a lot of his recent films, he mumbles a lot. He sort of not does that, but
I get what you mean.
Like especially in Bad Times at El Dorado, El Royale.
I'm hoping to watch El Royale when I hopefully get home. If I don't watch Grand Budapest, I will hopefully watch El Royale.
Try and watch it because it is interesting.
I'm very excited for it, because I think I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I watched it on the cinema screen, but. Yeah, but he does a very certain accent in it, and you'll struggle to hear what he says.
He does that in Hell or High Water as well. Like, and it is very just like that Texan man, and it's like, I kind of, after an hour you understand what he's saying, but it's that first hour is a lot of fun trying to learn what he is saying.
It's like sometimes Tommy Lee Jones in No Country for Old Men mumbles a bit too much.
Oh hell yeah!
Like I know I'm known for mumbling, but
yeah,
Sometimes she's all around
Jake, speak up a bit, please, Jake. No, raise your voice, Jake. You've got such a lovely voice.
It's like she's in the room.
She's in the room with us. She's in the room with us. I can't believe it.
I remember on our first drama lesson with her, she was talking about miming and drama and everything, and then she starts to mime that she has this baby, and then she hands it to Josh, and then she's like, "Oh, will you look after my baby?" And he's there like, "Yeah." And then like for the rest of because we're all sat in a circle in the room, and then about 20 minutes later, after she's finished talking about like what we expect to do on the course, she then turns to Josh, who's still there like pretending to like hold the baby, like rocking it, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
You gave me a baby.
He's like, "I've got your baby."
Don't
She's
forget
like,
it.
"What?" I mean, obviously she was doing it to take the piss out of him. Bloody hell. What a woman. What a woman.
Write a book. She should write a book. She'll do good.
But anyway, Christmas.
You should have watched Hell High Water, because it was on last night, and I rewatched a lot of it, and I forgot that's a fucking fantastic movie. And I think if I go back and I look back and I think 2016 was a fantastic year, but in much reflection, that's my new favourite film of that year.
Really?
It really is. It's overtaken La La Land almost. Because it's just such a well-made film, and I just think you come out of that, and it's like, it's very much like what Call Me By Your Name was. Like, it was beautiful and you were there for the summer. Like, it doesn't mean anything to anyone else when the plot's done, but it was brilliant while you were there. And you just feel so quiet about it afterwards. You should really watch that, man. Just get your chance, get ahead, watch it, find a good copy, not like me, who bought it and there was no disc inside, but that's
that would look so dodgy going back to the shop and being like, "So I bought this DVD from you and it didn't have a disc."
Shit you not, when I was bagging up discs to go for uni, like, I just opened a box and there was no disc in it. And I looked for a solid hour and there was no disc anywhere.
I bet your sister like secretly has it and was like hidden it.
I doubt she'd even know I own it. Like, I doubt she even knows I own Hell or High Water. Well, I own the box for Hell or High Water. Fucking hell.
I mean, actually owning what you pay for is a bit underrated, like overrated.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Now TV. Mr. Oh yeah, I'll catch this before it goes off on Now TV, and then it's gone and you've never even caught up on it. It's like, oh, I really should caught up on that now. The amount of times I have that in a year is just, wow. Watch things. I mean, or do we have to bring up Ex Machina again? Because that was on the old shelf for years.
How dare you?
It was never watched. And it just
What do you mean it was never watched?
It was watched eventually. After 3 years.
3 years of having the Blu-ray on my shelf, I finally watched it.
It's disgraceful. But Christmas is a giving time, and we were given something beautiful this Christmas season, and that was a Brooklyn Nine-Nine trailer.
Based on the best Christmas film of all time.
Die Hard, yeah.
Also, can we just end the debate now on is Die Hard a Christmas movie, is it not a Christmas movie? Can we just say it doesn't matter, it's a good film?
Yeah.
I mean, it is a Christmas film.
Because I remember the last time you and me did it, we had quite an intense argument on the show, whereas now I just tell people to fuck off if they even mention it.
It's like last year.
Last
year was the first year I was properly into the debate. And now it's happening again, and it's like, I just don't care anymore.
No one cares.
Yeah, it's like, okay, it's a good film. Enjoy it.
It was beautiful. We were there for the summer, and now it's done. Much like Call Me By Your Name. But that was a beautiful Brooklyn Nine-Nine trailer.
It was just absolute fan service.
Because there's two cuts as well. Excuse me, because there's the one where it ends with them saying they can cut Terry out of it. And then there's the other one where it says, oh, I bet you just want a boring presentation where it's just a reading of words. And then Holt just goes, Brooklyn Nine-Nine returns. I'm like, this is incredible.
Because it was like everything you could ever want and more. Because it showed like how ridiculous the budget looks for this series. Yeah. Although I'm worried that they blew it all on this trailer.
Yeah, I imagine they genuinely have.
Although I imagine that because, is it NBC that's got it back now?
It's NBC, yeah.
Yeah, I imagine now they're like, oh, people really do like this. We're going to put a lot of money into it. Because especially as it was nearly cancelled. Well, it was cancelled.
Yeah.
people are now going to watch it again.
Like, I
Sorry for
think
the interference.
I've like personally vowed to myself for there to be an occasion, like while we're at college at some point, when you do something and someone, I imagine it'll probably be like Zoe or something, or Lydia maybe, and they'll go like, what is he doing? And I just pop up around the shoulder and just go, something magnificent. And then you just carry on, they just look at me.
As you were going through that, I was like, oh god, where's this going? I expect it to like some like deprecative shit or something.
No,
You're like, something amazing.
something amazing. Because I just am. I am the boil.
I'll be saving a woman's life. I'll be running towards them in slow motion. Be like, what is he doing? Something amazing.
Something amazing.
But anyway, Christmas.
Christmas.
We're going to finally discuss Christmas. Because we don't actually have a review this episode, we've managed to bullshit our way through 45 minutes. And now we're going to,
Oh god.
like the Spooky Popcorn episode, we're now going to discuss a classic Christmas film each and then a contemporary Christmas film each. And
I guarantee you while doing this we go off on tangents. I guarantee.
Oh,
it.
100%. 100%. Our Christmas episode last year was, I think, 2 hours and 6 minutes. I'll double check
Jesus
that.
Christ, was it?
But,
Back then, where our souls weren't crushed.
sorry,
and we were
2
more
hours and 4
motivated,
minutes.
and
Yeah,
it's like
exactly. We were
had
going off the high
feelings.
of Bright.
That's
What
my
a film.
that's my least favourite episode we've ever made, because I complimented Bright in that, and I said Bright had competent fight scenes, and I'm like, no, it didn't, Zach. Shut up.
Is it time I tell them the truth about that review?
What? No, I had seen it the night before. I had seen that the night before. Do you not remember? I genuinely had. I hadn't seen the ending. I had seen the majority of it. I hadn't seen the ending.
No.
No.
I see through you, young man.
Yeah, well, you hadn't seen it either.
Yeah, that's why you went home, I watched it, and then I recorded my bit, and then in editing, I then spliced my bit in.
Oh my god.
Because essentially, for that Christmas episode, Zach planned to come over, we'd watch Bright, and then we'd then talk about it on the show. Things got in the way, so then we recorded the show, and we were like, shit, we don't have time to see Bright.
So the Christmas film that I'd like to talk about is Batman Returns.
And then essentially, Zach hadn't seen it. When we reviewed it, he's now hanging his head and you're aware of the cone of shame.
Yeah, I know. I'm the one cone of shame.
And then if you listen to that review, there's a specific point where I then talk about something, and then because I'm trying to intersplice it so it sounds like a conversation in editing, I then make this big point, and instead of like agreeing with me or something, that it sounds really like Zach's being really rude and just goes, yeah, well basically, and then goes into his own point.
You're a dick. You're a dick.
I had no choice. I had to try and intersplice it all.
Do we make this look normal, or do we make Zach look like he's a dick? I know which option I prefer.
The fact that literally 2 seconds ago you're like, oh wait, I know I did see it the night before.
I'm trying to not sound like an asshole on camera. I'm really trying not to.
So anyway, your classic film.
The classic film that I love and I watch every Christmas Eve, and I'm hoping and looking forward to watching tomorrow, because this is, as the retards of the world like to say, Christmas Eve today. So
Zach's words are his own.
yep, and that one I will hold it's my own name, because you are an idiot if you say that. Okay, but I'm talking to you, Phoebe from Friends. Yep. I watch Batman Returns every Christmas Eve because it's fucking incredible. That's a beautiful film. It makes me cry every time I watch the ending, because it's like Alfred's just like, you've been through hell, but I can at least say Merry Christmas to you, and then they do a little point on the piano, and that's quite nice. And then I just think, imagine how great it would have been if it's 1982, I think. No, 1992 they made that movie, I'm an idiot. And you've just walked out of that and your child is crying because it's a very dark Batman movie. And then
they've just been promised by like McDonald's toys and everything.
And then you have to go to
Kids
McDonald's
film.
afterwards and give your kids a McDonald's Happy Meal that's got Batman toys in it. But your kid is still crying from the fact that he's watched Batman Returns. I love it so much because it's the best Penguin ever. Danny DeVito is so good in it. I mean, I love the guy who plays Penguin on Gotham. It's the only reason I watch Gotham anymore, is just to watch the Penguin scenes. Sometimes the Riddler bits, but they're awful. But Danny DeVito is just, he gives such a damn. He shouldn't really. But he's
Danny
made a good
DeVito's
Tim
too
Burton
good
movie.
for this world.
That's just you and your always sunny brain. You're not thinking about how hard he laboured as the Penguin.
Yeah, I'm saying he's just too good for this world. Like with the Lorax, he voiced every single language.
Yeah.
What a bloke! What a bloke!
There's that beautiful, beautiful scene in Batman Returns where a man gives him a compliment and he thinks he's making fun of him, and he bites his nose off, and it's incredible. He just bites his nose. It's like there's blood squirting on the camera.
You
It's
heard Danny
incredible.
DeVito talking about the bit with the monkey, where
Remind me.
the monkey came down and he's in like this big fat
Yeah.
suit, and the monkey starts attacking him. He's like, "Thank God I was in that suit, because otherwise I'd been mauled."
So good.
But have you also heard Tim Burton and Shane Black discuss why they like to set a lot of their films at Christmas?
No, to tell.
It's because Christmas is all about being with friends and family and stuff, and so it's an easy and effective way of being like, either this character's lonely, or
Yeah.
then it's supposed to be happy and it juxtaposes it,
Mm.
and because they're all depressed and shit. And I mean, like, especially in The Nice Guys, like, you will never be happy.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, I write that on my hand every day. But yeah, I kind of get that, because like when you look at Michelle Pfeiffer's character, what she's like at the start of that, when it's, oh yeah, I live alone. She walks in, she's very sad, and then when she comes back in later and just tears the shit out of that apartment, which is still one of my favourite scenes in a comic book movie ever. I stand by that. If genre performances got as much credit as they do today, we would consider that scene the Toni Collette of her time. I think she would have been nominated for that, because it's
you say that,
incredible
but
scene.
comic book wise, with performances outside Heath Ledger, no one's really been nominated.
No, but I think they're given
No
a lot
matter
more.
how
I think they're
deserved.
given a lot more respect though. Like they're at least considered for the Oscars. Like they don't get it, but they're at least
Typically
considered.
only in visual effects and stuff. 'Cause
But
they
they're
are
at least
the
considered. There would have been a
blockbusters.
time when they would have never even been like, oh, this is a comic book movie. But now, like, there's people care about that stuff, and I think she's so good in that. Like, that transcends the medium. Like, that scene is just hot.
Well, I mean, she gave a fantastic comic book performance this year again. I mean, her and Ant-Man and the Wasp was just spectacular.
Fuck off, alright. It's all right if you've never watched a superhero movie. I guarantee kids loved that movie. Kids were having a lot of fun while that was on. I guarantee.
Yeah.
And you cannot beat a scene where Paul Rudd tries to play Michelle Pfeiffer, because that was brilliant. He tries so hard there. It was brilliant. I love Paul
I
Rudd.
mean, yeah, it has its scenes, but
Like, I've gotten to a genuine point now where people say to me, who is your favourite Chris actor? And I go, Paul Rudd. Because he's just wonderful. The man is just... He's the sort of bloke who he would just make you pancakes in the morning. He wouldn't care if you were in a mood with him.
you're the sort of person that's like, they're trying to gauge how hungry you are, whether you go for food now, food later. It's like, how hungry are you? Out of 10. 14 out of 10. It's like, it's out of 10. Just say 10.
Nah, just Paul Rudd.
How hungry are you? Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd. So at that point, Jake knows immediately, right, we need to get that some food or he's going to die. But I love Batman Returns, and there's that really good scene where it's like, because it's an interesting Batman story. I know everyone said the Lego Batman movie was an interesting Batman story and they can fuck off to hell, it looked pretty and that was it. But
Excuse
I'm
me.
joking. It's not that clever a Batman story. It's not that clever, but
No, it's
Batman,
a clever meta.
clever meta, but it's not that clever a Batman story. Whereas Batman Returns was, they have that beautiful scene where they're on the dance floor and they realise, oh god, it's you. It's like, do we have to start fighting? And that's such a sad scene. And Michael Keaton's committing. Like, that guy's actually giving a damn, and he doesn't do that rarely, unless if it's in a film where it's about kids that got raped and you kind of have to give a damn. Or Birdman, because who wouldn't want to give a damn during that? Oh, gotta love it. But it's so good, and it just, like, it takes the 89 movie, which is one of my favourite movies of all time, and it makes me completely forget about it, because 1992's Batman Returns is just better. And I don't think, unless if it's Edward Scissorhands, you get a better Tim Burton movie. Because it's just so strong. And even that's a fucking Christmas film as well. Which I was meant to rewatch the other day and foolishly didn't. And I'm upset with myself because I didn't.
How could you, Zach? How could you?
So my sister watched Edward Scissorhands the other day and she goes, was the Avon lady a real life thing? And I went, yes.
It's still a thing.
It's still a thing. They don't come here, but they do happen across the world.
Yeah,
You do get the Avon ladies.
One of my friend's mum's a Avon lady.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not going to name names, I'm no snitch.
Right, no snitch. I'm telling you who's the Avon lady. I'm sorry.
Why are you doing the
I don't know why.
Why is your girl so smelly voice?
Oh god, that is, isn't it? Guys, there's a hell of a rapper out there. Look him up. Just Google why your girl's so smelly, and you'll be brought there. I was just furiously impressed when we watched that.
You've gone off on that tangent long enough now.
I'm sorry. Your film,
it's time to come
your classic film.
It's my classic film. Is a very odd one. It's one that my father and I have started, I'm going to say about 5 Christmases in a row, and we have never got around to finishing it. But it still holds a special place in our hearts. And every year it's like, right, we better bloody finish it this year. And I bought it for him in Poundland, the DVD, because it's a public domain film. And this was before Poundland started doing actually good DVDs.
Ooh, actually good.
And it's like, I'm not sure of the year, I'll look it up.
It'll come to you.
But essentially, it's Santa Claus Conquers the Martians.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's 1964, so it's
Jesus
over 50 years
Christ.
old, and it is the weirdest, campiest shit. On Letterboxd, it has 1.7 stars, literally the exact as Escape Plan 2, Hades, with
It's called
Sylvester
Hades?
Stallone and Dave Bautista.
What was the subtitle? Escape Plan 2, Hades.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It was literally before we started recording this, I said to Zach, we were looking on Letterboxd, and I was like, wait, that was a film that came out this year, and he was like, no, that's not a film, you're fucking with me. And it's like, no, that's a film.
Jesus Christ.
But anyway, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, it isn't even an hour and a half long.
You're
It's
joking,
an hour
really?
21.
How have you not finished it then?
Because, trust me, it's one of the most painful experiences you'll ever have. Like, if you think old Doctor Who's difficult to get through,
Yeah.
then you will really struggle with this. I mean, it sort of has that, it has that charm. I mean, I think it has that charm anyway. But it's the sort of thing that I think you just need to sit yourself down and force yourself to watch.
Yeah.
And then you may find something you like. You probably won't. But it'll be a fun little thing to sort of go, that was fun to laugh at the time. I mean, like, if we're actually doing like classic Christmas films that are actually good, then obviously It's a Wonderful Life, hands down. It was on our top 10 list last year. What are you doing if you haven't seen it?
That was nearly my pick. That nearly was.
I mean, it's a classic for a reason. When I watched it, I was expecting it to be a lot cheesier than it was. Yeah. And I thought it'd all be cringy and shit. But to a certain extent, it somewhat is, but it plays it well. Because it's just light-hearted and it's fun. Yeah. But anyway, Santa Claus Conquers the Martians is a thrilling sci-fi caper that will astound all ages.
It was actually a funny thing because with It's a Wonderful Life, like because I'd seen it, like it was the sort of situation I'd seen it loads as a kid, like it was on but I didn't care, and I think it was last year was the first time I like probably sat down and watched it like properly, like to like get a feel for it, and then it was like that was the year I'd watched Vertigo as well, so to go from having watched Vertigo to then going and watching It's a Wonderful Life, Jimmy Stewart is a very different man. I'm like, oh god. We could actually honestly go on for an hour about how brilliant Jimmy Stewart's voice is, because that's just the best voice in the world.
It's a very particular voice.
I love his voice so much. I can't wait until Jake watches Vertigo, or at least Rope, because you could literally watch Rope. It's an hour and 20, and it's all pretty much in one take. It's brilliant.
But now into contemporary Christmas films.
My Christmas film. It's a made-for-TV movie, and I fucking love it. And it's not White Christmas, although that was a thought at one point, but we talked about that enough last year. But it's The Hogfather, and that is a Christmas film.
Yeah, sure. Go for it.
It is a Christmas film. Shut up, all right? Like, it's Ian McKellen as Death. You don't need any more than that. That's a really cool story. That's just make a film where it's just Ian McKellen voicing Death, because that's really weird. That's the first film where they actually realised Terry Pratchett's Discworld, where it was the elephants and the tortoise and the disc. That's what I call the Discworld, the disc on top. And that's just a zany Christmas story. There's like flipping vampires in it. There's two fairies or whatever they're called. That's just a crazy made-for-TV crappy film that technically shouldn't work, but it really fucking does. Everyone in that is very committed. There's the lady from Downton Abbey with blonde hair. She has brown hair now, but she had blonde hair there, and I'm horrible for not remembering her name. We're going to talk about the Downton Abbey trailer later, but that's not a problem for now. But I like that because it just tries hard to be different, and it's a very original story, and I can just remember thinking vividly as a kid, what the fuck is this? Because I can remember distinctly my grandparents recorded it for me and said...
Do you mean Michelle Dockery?
That's the one, Michelle Dockery. That pissed me off, that. I wonder why you'd gone quiet for a minute, but... Because I can remember distinctly, I went round for a day, and they recorded it, and they said, right, we've got something funny to show you. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I fell in love with it. Distinctly because Ian McKellen, and this was before I'd seen Lord of the Rings. And then when they tell you at the end, oh, that's Magneto, I was like, what? No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. That wasn't Magneto. He didn't have his helmet on. That annoys me. But it's just... It's not long either. You can sit down and get it done, I think, in an hour and 20. I think it's not long. It's a lovely little film, and it just harkens back to when it was like, oh, let's just try and make a fantasy movie because we can. Before it was the Harry Potter rush, and oh, we need our next big thing. So thank you for being British, for being quirky, and for being briefly on Sky One so I could watch it. Thank you, Sky One. If it wasn't for constant repeats of The Simpsons, you are useful for something. Thank you, Sky One. Although Sky One has let me down a little bit recently because on Christmas Day they're showing The Greatest Showman, and that shouldn't be shown on Christmas Day. So that's just letting people down.
It's on Sky One.
On Sky One, Christmas Day.
Yeah.
You might finally be able to watch it.
I mean, it's on Now TV. But...
So... Be careful, mate. I'll take it off. You want to be careful. I love it. But the Downton Abbey trailer, very importantly, I'm very excited.
So my contemporary Christmas film is...
I mean, they did the bells and... Maggie Smith was there. I'm excited.
It doesn't need to be continued.
Yeah, but I'm excited either way.
It doesn't need...
I don't care.
It ended semi-brilliantly.
Semi-brilliantly. But there's more to tell.
There's more than meets the eye.
Because you can just see Hugh Bonneville's just going to walk in and just go, we're home. That's beautiful. And that's amazing.
So my contemporary Christmas film, ladies and gentlemen, is... released from last year with Dan Stevens in it, Christopher Plummer,
the man who could replace anyone,
the emergency plumber.
Yep.
I'm ashamed you laughed at that.
That was actually really good. Because
Really
not
ashamed
only
you laughed at that.
do you call a plumber when you've got an actual problem with your plumbing, his name's Christopher Plummer. That's really funny. That's quite funny.
Stop. It doesn't deserve that much praise.
It does. Because you were so quick with that. You didn't even have it planned. You were just so quick with it. It took me a moment to realise, and I was like, yes.
But anyway, The Man Who Invented Christmas came out last year, and it essentially just tells the story of A Christmas Carol, except it's from Charles Dickens' perspective, and it's like that's who Dan Stevens plays, and I always get intrigued by these films that sort of show it from the creative's point, and then it shows them creating these things that people are passionate about, like obviously standard lots of Vincent van Gogh's like films out there. One this year with Defoe in it.
Eternity's Gate.
Can't wait to actually see it when it actually gets a UK release.
Yep.
But it's sort of an interesting view into... I'm not 100% sure how historically accurate it is, but in this he like has to write it in 6 weeks because he has this big idea, and then it like has to be illustrated and then put out in the printing press. And it's essentially called The Man Who Invented Christmas because back then, why would you want to do anything Christmas related? It's not that big a thing. Like, yes, it's the day people have off, but it wasn't, according to this film, it wasn't as celebrated as it is now. Like, it was more just seen as the religious side of it. And then this film sort of like delves in it, and Christopher Plummer's actually really good. There's a brilliant moment towards the end that I'm not going to spoil, and it's just how they do it, because yes, you've seen and you've read and you know A Christmas Carol tenfold, but here they sort of add it in the way of Charles Dickens trying to write it, and then at the start they make a joke on what they're going to call it and stuff like that, and it's like, anyway, so Man Who Invented Christmas, not enough people saw it. It's not going to blow your socks off, but
I think there's very little these days that does.
yeah, especially Christmas related.
Yeah, I haven't seen a good Christmas film in years.
The last contemporary Christmas related new thing I've seen that's blown me away was White Christmas.
Yeah.
And that was the first ever episode of Black Mirror that I saw.
That was the first one. Wow.
Yeah, it was because it was when it aired.
It was on TV, yeah.
Yeah. And I was
Well, I
like,
mean,
what
we've got the new one in 5 days.
Yeah.
Which
they haven't advertised at all.
No, it's the Choose Your Own Adventure one.
Oh, nice.
And apparently,
is that the one they're doing with Telltale?
No, I don't know.
Because
but...
Telltale are doing a thing with Netflix.
Well, Telltale doesn't exist anymore, so probably
no. They had a thing they were doing with Netflix, and then when Telltale folded, they said they still have these obligations to Netflix. So they're keeping a small team of like 5 people.
Oh yeah, because they're doing the Minecraft one, aren't they?
Yeah.
As well. But no, apparently it's like you'll press a button on your TV remote and then it will unfold from there.
It's annoying because I've had that idea going in my head for years. Like, well, why doesn't Netflix do that? Because that would be a good idea. When I make films and shit, that'll be a big thing. And it's like, oh, no, now they're doing it. Yeah. That's annoying.
Would you like to know who the main character is, though? The main star?
Isn't it Miley Cyrus?
No,
no, she's in the series.
She's in the series. It's the main character from Dunkirk, apparently. The big rumour is that it's him.
What, Fionn Whitehead?
Fionn Whitehead, that's his name. Apparently it's him.
He was good in Dunkirk, but I'll never forgive him for the Children Act. That's another film, like You, Me and Dupree. Never watched the Children Act.
But, no, hopefully that will be good. I mean, the name's stupid, Bandersnatch, whatever that means. But hopefully that will redeem our love of Christmas.
And also with no Doctor Who Christmas special this year. New Year's special.
I'm not complaining about that.
Well, I mean, you haven't even finished the series.
Yeah, but I don't need to finish the series to know how awful it is, mate.
It had its
I watched
moments.
the fucking Witch Hunters one the other night, and Alan Cumming was the only part that I found bearable of it, and even then...
No, if you're going to watch any of them from this series, watch... I think it's called What Takes You Away, or It Takes You Away, or something.
Yeah,
because that was actually had a lot of good ideas in it.
No.
It was like one of those 3 episodes in one.
If we can put it into perspective, Jake's found Doctor Who bearable. I've hated it. I've enjoyed maybe 1.5 episodes, and that's been it.
I think it's annoying because
they were they were saying how bold they were, and then they like were showing how bold and adventurous they were going to be by casting a female Doctor, and then they've literally played this is the safest series I think there's been.
It's literally the end of every episode. I'll give some exposition. Oh, we got out of the pickle. Then we're fine now. There hasn't been a single iconic villain. I don't care if you say Tim Shaw is somewhat. No, that's wrong.
They're about to go somewhere interesting with them in the finale, but then no. Although this is a
plug, I have 2 video essays planned before I get round to it, but Doctor Who Series 11 rewrite is on the way.
It's on the way.
It's on the way,
says Jacob.
That's very interesting.
Like, why would you rewrite it? Just write an alternative.
Oh no, I have many a series planned out for Doctor Who, but that's what I'm going to pitch.
Write that as a video.
That's what I'm going to pitch to the BBC.
The BBC one day.
But
well, you can get in line.
I have a few changes to this series that would just push it, just that to be that bit better, in my opinion.
And now she's fucking off as well. I don't care that I'm glad that Chibbers is off, but I like her. And like they're like,
she's not leaving.
Oh, I thought it was like all the whole like, oh, I don't want to be there if Chibbs is not going to be there.
There was a rumour, but
oh, brilliant.
Yeah, she's confirmed for the next series at least. But
I just don't want him there at all because he's just an awful writer. He really is. I don't care.
He's not an awful writer.
I don't care if Broadchurch was great, because if this is the only thing you've ever seen of Chibbs...
You haven't seen it.
Yeah, but I know it's probably great, but I'm making what I've seen in this, it's fucking appalling.
I mean, the first series of Broadchurch was so strong because it had that mystery. The second series, in my opinion, was very weak because it wasn't really about the mystery. It didn't really have anything. It was just bringing all these new characters in and seeing the old ones. and that one was like didn't work as well. But then series 3 for the final series, they brought it back with a mystery, and then it was stellar again.
Yeah.
So I think he needs a big pull and a hook, and with the lack of a series arc, it sort of meandered about.
It just gets me. If you don't want to do something, don't do it.
I mean, it took Moffat talking into.
I know, but it's like if you know for a fact you're not going to want to do it in a year, don't do it, because you're just going to let other people down, and also you're wasting money. I wouldn't do it if I knew in my heart in a year's time I'm going to
do it.
Yeah, but if it was a project that I knew in my heart, I'm not saying Doctor Who specifically, but in a year's time I was like, yeah, I'm going to despise this and I'm going to have wasted people's time, I would honestly say no. Like, even if someone says to me tomorrow, oh, you can work on Star Wars, but then you know in your heart you're not going to enjoy it, I'd probably say no.
Well, you know, all these hate videos have come up for many reasons. There was clearly a fake account commented on one of the videos. It was pretending to be Stephen Moffat, and it was like, how well, at least now people are appreciating my era more. And a load of people replying to it like, oh no, I always loved your era, and like replying to it as if it was the actual person.
Yeah.
It clearly is not Stephen Moffat.
Could not be Stephen Moffat. Just literally.
Although it was on Instagram, Rusty Davies commented on a post, and then sort of like poking fun at Moffat for something. And then Moffat replied, and they had this little joking spatter at each other, and like at each other's ears, saying, "Oh, how no one died and shit." And
it's just good, wholesome family entertainment.
Yeah.
But no,
that's just something that gets me, because it's like there's the three staples of that show. There's the every single series, even under the Moffat era, even the later Paul Moffat era, has been able to achieve. You had at least one setting on location where it was just like that blew your mind and you couldn't believe they'd come up with something so original. They had the one iconic villain, which was like, wow, this thing will be a thing.
And the resolution looks good, not only visually because it looks cinematic, but I think with the way that it's potentially going on, it looks good.
And they had a truly great Doctor moment, which we had for nearly everyone.
Yeah, I still don't.
We haven't had one for Jodie yet.
I feel like with Jodie, it's sort of like, oh yeah, she's the Doctor at this point, like in the finale. Whereas with like Matt Smith in the 11th hour, I was like, he is the Doctor. And I mean, it wasn't in Capaldi's first episode either, but
he got there to me eventually.
Yeah,
it was like that, because it was like, I can remember casting my mind back to 2011 when I'm a little boy who's grown up with David Tennant, fucking adores him, and is very upset that he's gone, and is very angry about Matt Smith.
2010.
2010, Jesus Christ. And then when he walks through the thing, he's like, I'm the Doctor. He's like, yeah, I kind of now believe you, mate. It was David Tennant. Jodie has not done that at all.
It nearly did that in episode 1, but it didn't quite hit it, where she's there on the top of the cranes and stuff.
Yeah, I give you that.
But
maybe.
It didn't quite hit it. Like, you could tell that was supposed to be the moment, but...
And you've got that brilliant cliffhanger where they're stuck in space, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. And they do nothing with it. It just annoys me, and it gives out fucking custard creams. Why would he care? Why would she care if it's a custard cream? Why?
It's Jodie's favourite biscuit.
I don't care. Don't care.
Why can't you just have some fun? You just hate fun.
I hate fun. Yeah, I actually hate fun.
Why do you think we've been avoiding the topic of Christmas this entire episode?
I hate fun. Zach does not like fun one bit.
You just need to start a YouTube series of like why Zach hates. And then...
No, I've got like a distinct thing planned. It's like if I ever do get like a YouTube series, it's like it'd be like a once a year thing. It'd be like a Zach just goes to town. That's what it'd be called. And it's me, balls what. I'll pick like a list of like 10 topics, and I just really berate it and shit on it, and I go like quite over the top with it. Like I maybe even smash the DVD to bits with a bat or something. And I go quite angry.
Do you watch Alien's Guide that Wisecrack did?
Yeah.
I fucking love Garrick Swamy-Lloyd. And then they have like the battered DVD in the background. It'll just be you completely...
Although... Do what Angry Joe did, just put the Duke Nukem case in the toilet and just flush.
Although it is just like that moment from Straight Outta Compton. It's like when they're breaking all the CDs and it's like, I don't care, they've already paid for it.
Yeah.
So there's no point after you've bought it.
Yeah. But it's worth it because it'll fill my mind with joy. That's going to be something I'll do, and people will come to ask for it for when Zach just goes to town.
But I'm very much looking forward to when I do start my YouTube series, My Star Wars. That's what I've been planning for a while.
That's going to be good, that. I'm looking forward to it.
So stay tuned.
That's going to get the ladies excited and the young boys, the people.
They're two
The subscribers.
demographics that I don't think I'm catering to at all in my YouTube demographics. I think I look on my demographics and it's literally just
Boulder.
yeah. Literally, it's just white men.
A white man.
I want to appeal to the masses, but no one's watching.
Just because you put Ben Swallow at the end does not mean that you are representative to other people.
I mean, that should be, even if it's just people watch for that, Ben Swallow.
Yeah. I mean, that's
think
all I do.
that's-
I just skip to the end of your videos. I don't even watch the last one.
Oh, shit. Cheers. That hurt. How much?
I'm joking. This guy made a video called The Paranoia of Man. He worked very hard on it. He edited for months. And every day I would ask him, how's it going? And he looked like he was ready to cry. The amount of times I want to hug this man because of his essay. Go and fucking watch it.
23 times I had to upload that again because of copyright.
It's not doing well. It should be doing better.
It's on 69 views exactly. I checked the other day.
5 years has done better than that. And that's appalling. Go and watch it because he tried hard.
I tried very hard.
And yes, he does sound tired in it, but he still cares. He always sounds tired. Leave him be, alright?
I think...
Just because he tries hard doesn't mean you've got a right to
I'm
berate
tired
him.
because I try so hard. But no, I think the voiceover is what I need to put the most change into for the next one.
What we need to do
Just
is...
make it sound all like, wow, welcome to my top 10 list. Oh my god.
Can we put you on
I am
helium?
here with Watch Mojo UK.
Can we put you on helium? Like, just for fun. Just for one video.
No, I'll just do the voice the whole time like...
Hello, I think that you should watch this film because it's very good. Thank you. Good night. Cheers.
Yes, there you go. Hi guys, Doctor Who Expert 7 here.
So,
where have I been?
where have I been?
I mean, we're pissing off our only listener.
I don't care. You do not put that on the internet and not expect ridicule in return. I'm sorry. I love you, man, but you don't expect it.
I was very kind of this 18th on editing that Indiana Jones video and putting it up on Facebook.
You could have put so much.
But for his 21st, Boulder, just know that I am going to work with that video.
Do it.
That's all
We
I'm
could
gonna
make a
say.
Jawa edit.
Should make a
Oh my
Jawa
god, we
edit.
should so the next time we get set at college, make a Jawa edit. Just make it of Boulder. And it's just him saying things. Oh, that in my mind is now just enthralled. I was on the Jaws trailer, and now I want it. And now I'm just enthralled on this. How can we do this to make it sound like he's saying things? Oh, it's so good. But I'm sat here and I'm quite astounded that you aren't excited for Downton Abbey.
The famous words of Charlie Brooker.
I'm a bad person, I am sorry.
Are we doing a quickfire question this week?
It's Christmas. People don't want that sort of thing thrown at them while it is a happy time.
We did a
of the year.
quickfire question last year that was
What was
Christmas
that?
related.
What was that?
I'm not
quite
sure.
excited to see what that would have been because
Let's look back on it.
I like to think we've grown since then.
1 hour 46, right. So if we get copyrighted for listening to our own video,
Oh,
I
no,
know
please-
that's
oh,
I know
no,
that's
listen
not
to
actually
it.
how copyright works.
Oh,
I'm taking
can
the
you not
piss.
just go on the Twitter and look? You're not going to listen to it, are we?
We weren't doing the Twitter poll at that point.
You're kidding, weren't we?
No, that's only when we brought it back. And I can't be bothered to look on it.
So
I'm
we're
gonna be
still
honest.
flipping a coin.
Yeah.
Fuck, I like to say we've come really far, but we're still sat in your room recording this. There'll come a day where we've got a staff of 15. Guarantee you.
I refute that statement. I don't think we're going to have 15 people. We don't even have 15 listeners now, let alone...
No, I don't mean for this. One day we'll each have a staff of 15 just for an individual project. It's right, you, go and get me coffee. You, my mum needs a birthday present, make it happen. You. There's a lot of tension in my shoulders, please relieve it. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
You'd be who Kevin Spacey plays in Horrible Bosses. I'm not saying you'd be Kevin Spacey. I'm stressing that now.
Thank you.
I'm saying that you would be Kevin Spacey from Horrible Bosses.
I've never seen Horrible Bosses the whole way through, but I'll give you that. I don't like Horrible Bosses at all.
You'll be so awful to your staff that they will plot your murder.
Because I don't like...
Be very careful
It's either
who you
Jennifer
say.
Aniston or Cameron Diaz who's in that
It's
movie.
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston. I don't like Jennifer Aniston very much.
Cameron Diaz, I understand. She went crazy on Graham Norton talking about pubic hair.
Yeah.
But Jennifer Aniston...
Like, yeah, she's
I
great
do.
in some things, and then in other things it's just like, oh no, this is We're the Millers again. Although apparently Apple's paid like $250,000 to like do a series with her when their streaming service launches.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, but it's like, what are you gonna do? And I know you've got the M. Night Shyamalan stuff. And I know you've got Peanuts that they've just bought, but
Well, she was just in Dumpling.
she in Dumpling was she?
Yeah, she
How
was
is
in
that?
I don't know, and I don't want to watch it.
Because my sister wants to watch it, and I was like,
A lot of people say that it takes what Sarah Burgess, the loser, and Insatiable try to do, but it does it 10 times better.
So you're reading specifically from Zoe's review.
100%.
Famous actress Zoe Jones, star of many franchises, whose film opinion, well,
I mean, I read it in her review of it, and then I also read it in somewhere else.
I'm getting
that's
the general vibe
doing-
from that as well. But,
So I'm not just plagiarising Zoe's review, I swear.
yeah.
But because I actually wait until I've seen things, Zach, before I review.
I wasn't shitting on you there. I was trying to shit on Zoe. I wasn't shitting on you. I'm kidding. You're a man, but you're a bad person. But no, because actually that's the thing as well. The main girl from Dumpling was in Bird Box. She just suddenly popped up, and I was like, I remember you. You were in that film. You were in that episode of American Horror Story that I didn't like.
Although bringing it all round so it comes full circle
Has a
from
nice
you
little
talking
bow on
about
top.
Once Upon a Time. Prince Charming of that was in Doctor Who.
Wait, seriously, where
He
was
was
he in
in Silence in the Library. He was one of the faces.
that? Yes, he was, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, he was. And he was one of the original Warriors 3 in the first 4 movie.
Yeah.
He didn't return for
He's
For
the
Dark
one that
World
Zachary
'cause-
Levi replaced.
It's not Zachary Levi, it's a guy who looks like Zachary Levi. It's definitely not Zachary
No,
Levi.
it's Zachary Levi.
It's definitely not.
Google it.
I'll
It's Zachary
Google it.
Levi.
It's definitely not.
100%
If
it's
it's
Zachary Levi.
Levi, I'll eat my shoe.
Shake on it right now.
If it's Zachary Levi.
Because it's Zachary
If
Levi.
it's Zachary Levi, I'll eat my shoe. Well, you can actually hold...
I know this is an audio podcast only, but we did shake hands, Zach.
Yeah, 100%. We did the Predator. I'm going to check Ragnarok as well, because I doubt it's the same
No,
person.
it's 100% Zachary Levi.
100% not. It's 100% not Zachary Levi.
It's because you just scrolled past his name
Right,
on the list.
Alright, it is. Right, I'm going to check if it's for Ragnarok as well, 'cause
Yeah,
I don't think it is.
yeah, it's Thor Ragnarok. He's in it for 2 seconds when he's killed.
I doubt... I didn't think it was that
100%.
one. Would you believe it? He's actually in both.
Right,
Right, so
Zach,
do you want to hold the mic as I eat my shoe?
No, we're going to get this on camera at some point.
There's another actor who looks exactly like Zachary Levi, and I was desperate to say it was him. I can't remember the bloke's name. I'm so pissed off. Oh, God, that annoys
See,
me
if
so
I know
much.
anything, I know my Zachary Levi.
Yeah, I don't like
So-
the bloke at all.
Dare you, sir?
There's a reason I'm not excited for Shazam. It's because it's him playing it.
Did you not see the video
Yes,
of
that was
him
very
at the
sad.
Comic Con where the girl was crying, saying "I love you," and he's there like, "I love you." It was
Yes, that was very sad.
beautiful.
Yes, that was very sad, but we all cry. I do it every morning.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and anyone in between,
Zach cries.
we
Well,
will. PSA: Zach cries an awful lot. We will hype up for when we record Zach eating his shoe, and we will send it to Zachary Levi and say, "You are the reason." It will be
he'd
the
probably
exact
respond
moment.
knowing him, because he's just like desperate for attention.
Oh, for fuck's sake! It'll be the exact
Zach's
moment.
words are his own.
Be the exact moment from Journey's End. Zach's there in flames. He's there in his wheelchair. You are the destroyer of worlds. And then Zachary Levi's just there, like, "Please take my hand. You don't need to do this." And then you burn in hellfire as you die from eating your shit.
And then 6 years later, it's like I come back and it's like my eye opens up and I'm like, I'd like to see the sun again. And I steal his regeneration energy in a plotline that's never popped back up.
You have that weird snake dude, whoever the hell that is.
Colony South was his name. I'm embarrassed that I remember that. I'm really embarrassed that I remember that. But I'm the guy who likes Hellbent, so leave me be.
Still stand by it that the best thing in that two-parter is in the opening two-parter, which is familiar and stuff, not Hellbent. And the hands coming out in that field.
Oh, I hate that. I think it was awful.
I thought it'd be creepy if they didn't. It'd be better if they didn't have eyes.
Yeah, the eye thing ruined it for me. If it was just the hands, that would be really cool. But the eye thing, I was like, oh, this just looks far too bloody Terry Pratchett or Tim Burton. Doesn't belong here.
But no, I think that was a...
No, it looks
cool
far too
idea.
Neil Gaiman.
There you go.
Yeah. Fucking Neil Gaiman.
But I think
I love you, man.
we should have a quick fire question because it is an episode.
Well, I mean,
it is my turn because you did the horror one.
yeah,
And
but
I'm saying
we
should
distinctly
have one,
need to work out what the points are.
but
We
do
will
that
do
at
that
some point.
in the new year when we do our big episode.
we'll work it out.
Our
at some
big
point.
episode where we haven't gone on a tangent. We've actually done quality conversation. I mean, we've
Don't
talked
make
about
promises we can't keep. Zach.
We
We
will-
will go on tangents.
Yeah, but we will also give quality conversation at the same time. I'm holding my finger to suggest that Jake will adhere to this statement.
I mean, we could try.
I'm doing a Roger Moore face.
All we can do is try. I mean, at this point, it's an hour and a half in.
We did literally say, why don't we do a half-hour video? So we got an hour further than we thought we would.
Right, so let's
And we're
just...
good people for having done that.
Right, are we doing it now? Are we doing quickfire question or not? Because if we are, we need to
Doing
quickly... Quickfire question.
Oh, yeah, let's
Oh,
do
are we?
a quick fire
I need-
question. Yeah.
Right, okay, I'll need to
Dave,
think of
what
it.
was
I'll
that?
need to think of it. You do your Christmas recommendation,
Oh, God, I don't
And
oh,
then-
no.
and I'll think of a quickfire question.
Watch 8th grade. People just go out and watch 8th grade. You can get it on
I'm
digital
glad you
download
finally
now.
saw that. It's good.
I fucking
It's
love
good.
it. It's incredible. Like, I completely agree with your review. You relate more to the dad than anyone else. It made me really scared to have kids. Because it's like there's going to come a day where they just don't want to talk to you anymore. And it's like, oh, man. And he tries so hard. He was in 13 Reasons Why as well, that guy.
Hmm.
And he's one of the very few things I now like about that show. Because I agree now with Jake, it is quite awful.
I don't know why you liked it in the first place.
Because for the first season, I thought, oh, this is kind of like a semi-engaging mystery, and it kind of like seemed cool.
Oh my god, it's the counselor! Oh my god!
And then they raped a guy with a broomstick, and that's not okay to show to kids.
I think the problem with it, well, I mean, there are many problems with it, but one of the problems with it is they say it's this PSA, like, this is what's going on in schools around the country, around the world. This is what's going on. And in the first series, you could somewhat argue that, like, yes,
Yeah.
suicide is something that needs to be spoken about a lot more. In the second series, I don't think that many people get raped with a broom, and it's not something to make fun at. And in the show, I don't think they poke fun at it. I don't think
No,
they
it's a very serious scene. Like, it's held
Okay,
a lot of
good.
gravitas.
good because I haven't actually seen it because I don't.
People made
want
fun
to.
of it, but it's
Yeah.
it's a very.
the people who made fun of
remember
it
as well.
that
Like the day I
I got
went back
annoyed with.
into work and people had seen it and they said, "Did you see that?" And I was like, "Yeah, but why are you getting angry?"
Anyway, yeah, watch 8th grade. Don't watch 13 Reasons Why.
Actual Christmas recommendation though, because it's just out and I think more people should actually give it a chance because it's actually pretty good. And I was actually really upset it wasn't on the cinema screen. That was Mowgli: Legend of the Jungle. It's beautiful. I'll say that through and through. It's really beautiful. Andy Serkis doesn't do a lot as Baloo, but he does a hell of a lot as a good director. He directs the shit out of it, and you can see his passion is leaking off every frame. Christian Bale, you don't even know it's Christian Bale. He's completely transformed into that role. He's so good as Bagheera. And it's so dark that maybe don't show it to kids, because this is not bare necessities at all. There are like animals mauling each other. It's quite violent in certain scenes, and it's really quite... There is a twist halfway through the film where I was like, fuck, did not see that coming. That's a little bit darker than I thought it would ever be. Because I could distinctly remember thinking, oh, they've just done this because it's a money move, because not enough people are going to want to go and see it. And I think, no, this is why they put it on Netflix, because they know it's going to upset the kids if they show them that. So that's why they put it on Netflix. That kind of changes your mind about the film a hell of a lot. The only thing I'll say about it that isn't great is Cumberbatch, because he is just doing the Smaug voice. for Shere Khan. That kind of let me down a little bit. I think Idris Elba did a much better job. But what's the bloke in World's End? Oh, he just looked right through me. What's that bloke called? Eddie.
I don't know. I like him. He's in a
Marsan.
lot.
Yeah, he's an original character in it, and he's very good. He has some good lines. And the guy who's in Westworld, who's William's father-in-law, is in it, and he plays the wolf leader, and he's very good. He's a great voice actor. He should do more of that. But no, I enjoyed it, and the kid in it tries very hard, and even though he has to do some quite dark stuff, and there's some sadder scenes, but it's really well made. It's not the best thing ever, but I think Andy Serkis deserved a lot of credit for it and a lot of props, and I think
Eddie Marsan.
That's his name.
He is in a very small British film called Faint Heart that people should try and watch if they can. I mean, on Letterboxd, 94 people have seen it, so it is very small. But it's from 2008 and it's quite interesting. But sorry, Zach.
No, that's it. That's it for me. Just go out and watch that. Oh, and also as well, because I wanted to prop this on the last episode, but I completely forgot to do it. Go and watch 50,000 Feet is Best, because I really enjoyed that. It's a great little short film with Dennis O'Hare. I fucking love that man. More people need to watch him. The stories he tells aren't that interesting, but just him in general is incredible, and the way he performs that is brilliant. There's so much subtlety to it.
I like it when in film class they literally just show us a short film.
Brilliant.
And it's like, if they show us a clip from a feature film, it's like, okay, I want to go watch that now.
I really hope next year we get more of that again.
Yeah.
That has some of the first remakes as well.
But my recommendation isn't Christmas related at all. But it's one that I've been dying to talk to Zach about for
Mine's
ages.
not either, actually.
I know, but yours has just come out, so you could argue that. But it's one that came out in 2004, Lars von Trier's Dogville.
No, I haven't seen that, but I think it's on my watch list.
This is something that I do like about Lars von Trier films, that happens in a lot of them, is the way that the camera moves, because it especially works well in Dogville. Not so much The House That Jack Built, but it's sort of his style. But it's very documentary.
Yeah, it's like you don't even...
Yeah, so it's like shaky camera, there's a lot of crash zooms, there's a lot of points from different perspectives, and just even the set in Dogville is fantastic. Yeah, I've been meaning to have it as my recommendation since the first episode of Sour Popcorn, but I've just pretty much always neglected to do it and forgotten to do it. But nah, Dogville, definitely 100% recommend. Not for everyone, it gets very dark.
Yeah.
Very dark. But even if you just watch it for the performances, I mean, the set design is astonishing, because it isn't a set, it's just a black stage where they've got a few features of some houses, like a desk, but you can literally just look into the houses of the entire town, because all the houses are just white markers on the floor.
Yeah.
It's just incredibly, like, the ideas in it and everything, and it has a surprise actor at the end that you love.
That I love specifically?
He was in The Godfather, so yes.
Oh, then of course I love him. Of course I love him. Because we were in a restaurant where Al Pacino was the other week, and it was like...
Right, so I went to this vegetarian curry restaurant with my dad, and then when I was there, the owner was telling me about how Donald Sutherland and Al Pacino had a meal there in like the 80s when they were filming a film in South Devon. And then I pitched it to the friendship group. Oh, we have a Christmas meal, and then that, and then.
And it was a lovely.
It was, and the food there is fantastic.
Oh, I love it.
And
5-star.
And as soon as I told Zach that Al Pacino, he didn't care about Donald Sutherland.
I cared about Donald Sutherland.
Well, yeah,
not
but
as much as Al Pacino.
yeah, as soon as I said that Al Pacino had been there, it's like, right, we're going. And I was still sort of pitching it to the group, like, oh, it does really nice curries and stuff, and they're like, and Zach's just like, no, we're going. Al Pacino.
Well, he's one of the greatest actors ever. So yeah, was one of the greatest actors ever. Fine.
I wasn't contesting.
He's not dead, but I thought you were going to bring up Jack and Jill with Dunkachino.
I was literally about to say, why don't we have a Dunkachino?
Fuck off.
Dunkachino.
It's almost as bad as that. Although I love it when Michael Douglas does the ants Ants. Ant-Man.
Ant-Man, go see Ant-Man.
That's the best trailer ever. I don't care what you say. That's the best thing ever. That should have made 28.9 million views. Not Endgame. That. Because at that point, they can sell me the phone book and I'll buy it because it just worked.
I mean, I've now thought of a quickfire question, but I haven't thought of an answer to it. But I could.
Thank you for the recommendation, because I will go ahead and watch that. Because
seriously,
I do love Lars von Trier. It takes a lot for me to go and sit down and watch.
Which ones of his have you seen?
Oh, come to me. I'll have to Google which ones I've seen. Give me a minute. You go ahead with your quickfire question, just briefly.
Well, I'm trying to think of an answer for it now, because
I'll try and get Lars von Trier.
Essentially,
because I believe I've seen a movie or two by Lars von Trier. It just doesn't even come to me currently.
but with my quickfire question, it's essentially your one from Halloween, just instead of a horror film,
Okay.
a Christmas film.
Okay, what are you going to say? I've forgotten what my question was.
It was, what classic, and now in this case Christmas film, do you want to see a sequel to? And on
I could say
paper-
Gremlins again. It's a Christmas horror film. I could say Gremlins again.
You could.
But I won't. Come up with something original.
I mean, in my heart, I know I want to say Muppets Christmas Carol,
No, it
but
doesn't,
that
yeah, it
ended
doesn't.
so perfectly.
Don't even, because I will launch across this table. Just don't even go there.
I'm trying to think of one as well. Like, normally I'm there with a nice prepared
I want
answer.
to be that person who goes, The Nightmare Before Christmas needs one because it needs to represent the Jewish holidays on their trees. Because lots of people get very riled up about that, and I don't give a shit if you. I don't give a shit if you're Jewish and you're underrepresented, but it's a silly little animated film. Don't give it too much. I would like to see Iron Man 3 get a sequel because it is a Christmas movie. This is very difficult now because I'm trying to think of a Christmas film. I was trying to think of one earlier to talk about, and it became very difficult. But it's just a sad question because it's like, if the story's over, why go back to it?
Exactly, which most Christmas films end.
Which makes me think you're quite silly for asking this question.
It's making me think that as well.
It's making me think, like,
It's
what
like-
is Jake even thinking?
It's like the Christmas
We could give
sequels
him a
you
minute
get.
to redeem himself and think, can he find a new way to do it?
It's like the Christmas sequels you do get, like the Tim Allen Santa Claus films. They progress it each time. Where
I mean, I've got one in mind, but yeah. I don't like those Tim Allen ones.
I think the only one I'd say is Elf. But I don't really want a sequel to Elf at all.
Oh, God, why do you even go with that?
Exactly.
Like, he's an old man, he's got a kid.
Logan, but Elf.
You've got everyone back as well.
Fuck it, I'm doing Elf too.
Directed by
Logan.
Jon Favreau, again. James Caan makes a return.
James Caan never coming back to that, no matter how much you pay him. Ever.
But I'll make him return. This is my ideal fantasy.
Yeah.
Right, I'm having Elf 2. Now give me a second while I think of a story.
Fuck, I've got to come up with one now. Can I do Into the Spider-Verse? Because that was technically set at Christmas, wasn't it?
Not at all.
It was snowing for a lot of it.
No, it wasn't.
I thought it was yeah, it was. It was snowing when they were in the graveyard.
Yeah, but it wasn't set at Christmas.
Wasn't it?
It's just snowing for aesthetic. Even if it is set at Christmas, it's certainly not a Christmas film.
Fuck. Oh, so if a film is set at Christmas, it's not a Christmas film, is it? I'm joking. Well,
Do they write ho 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 in blood in Into the Spider-Verse? I think not, young man. They do not write ho 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 in blood.
really hoping it
Also,
wouldn't go there,
John
but it
McClane, right? And I hate this fucking argument. It's useless. But John McClane is in that building because it is wife's work's Christmas do. That is why he is there. Christmas. It is a Christmas film.
Will
Full
you
stop.
accept?
Hate it. End of.
Because I don't have like a full picture of it, but it's like an interesting idea. Because I don't want to give any more money to Johnny Depp though. Would you accept Edward Scissorhands?
Sustained overruled.
Yeah, I don't want to give any more money to Johnny Depp.
The Crimes of Grindelwald is the best film of 2018.
Grindelwald is a fucking gamer. Rise up. That was the best thing that Robbie made all year.
Could you calm yourself down, please.
No, because
Getting
Grindelwald is a
too
fucking
excited.
gamer.
Tell you what Grindelwald is. He's a thought.
He is such a fod, but he's not as good as Fot Woman. Fot Woman
Please stop
changed
this.
everything that I felt I really knew.
Not as good as CGI woman though.
Oh, good grief, CGI Fot Woman. Oh, just gets my motor running just thinking about it.
And on that bombshell,
It's back to the studio. Because this has become quite difficult to me. I mean, I would like to see a sequel to The Princess Switch, but in order to discuss a sequel to The Princess Switch, I have to spoil The Princess
don't
Switch.
you dare! Don't even think about it.
Because I'd have
No,
to spoil The Princess
don't
Switch
don't
to
don't you
discuss
dare!
the idea for a sequel.
Don't you
It's
dare.
a very clever idea,
Don't you dare!
but I don't want to spoil it for you, so I will refrain from doing The Princess Switch, even though it's in my top 10 for the year, because it's incredible. This is very difficult, really, because, I mean,
Christmas films just sort of end so perfectly.
yeah, I kind of hate you for doing this. Are you still going with Elf?
Christmas with the Cranks. Let's do it. Part 2.
Are you still going with Elf?
Yeah, I'm still going with Elf.
For fuck's sake,
Right.
I'm trying to think of anything now.
I've sort of semi got an idea, ish.
What for Elf?
I mean, I'm just going to improvise it. I've got a starting point, and then I'm just going to see where it takes me. So
I'm gonna have to do the Princess Switch at this point. I'm gonna have to do it.
don't spoil it.
I'm gonna have to do it.
No.
I'm gonna have
No.
to do it.
No.
I'm gonna have to do it. Because I think the Princess Switch actually needs to be more talked about, and I think people need to discuss it more. Because not enough people are giving it credit.
Scrap Dogville, I'm making my recommendation, The Princess Switch. That means that we can't recommend and then spoil the same film in the same episode.
Piss off. Piss off, because I can't come up with an idea otherwise. Unless if you want me to do Batman Returns, that needs a sequel. Because then I think I'll win. So I can go on for ages about why that deserves a good sequel.
You can try.
I can go on for ages, you just do. Because you can either set that perfectly as a continuation of the original Michael Keaton movie, where as a younger man, you do that third movie that promised the vision of a scarecrow appearance. He even wanted to play with Man-Bat as well, apparently Tim Burton did. You do a really great grizzled movie like that, you can have that look amazing. Or you can do a third one where it's old man Michael Keaton as Batman. And that's fucking awesome, because everyone loves my old man Michael Keaton.
I love Logan, and I know I joked about it a minute ago, but I hate how every single sequel pitch since is like, right, it's like Logan,
It's like
but it's
Logan, but it's this.
it's like,
It's like Logan, but it's about the sex.
why?
Because, yeah.
No.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go to your room.
Go to your room.
Go to your room.
I'm so glad you got your apartment to watch that. Even if they weren't paying attention, I'm glad you at least made an effort to sit them down and make them watch it.
Thank you.
I'm sure they weren't thrilled about it.
No,
but
they
I'm
weren't.
glad you
but
tried.
I'm happy that they watched it. All the same.
And really, at the end of the day, that's all that honestly matters if you're happy, isn't it?
Hmm.
Because fuck other people.
Elf 2 would start off
Okay.
with Will Ferrell and a beard. And a beard.
So it's a bit beard.
And he's got his family.
Paint a picture to me. Is this like long after the original?
This is a long ways after the original.
Okay, it's long ways after the original.
And what we do is we pull a Metal Gear Solid 4 on you. And instead of focusing on Will Ferrell, we focus on his son.
Metal Gear Solid 4, don't you mean Metal Gear Solid 2? Are you thinking of the Raiden switch?
Yeah.
That's
it's
Metal Gear
two.
Solid 2.
Yeah, fine.
Like, Raiden's in Metal Gear Solid 4, so I will let you slide on
Yeah,
that one.
that's
But
Yeah, anyway. I was thinking of the underwater level.
that's quite
Yeah,
alright,
it's
that's
a
quite
two.
alright, that's quite alright. I like Metal Gear Solid 2.
But anyway.
Oh my god, the Princess Switch has got 89% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's so good.
And it again shows how much of a broken system it is.
That's so good.
Because
I'm
Christmas
just-
with the Cranks only has 6%.
I'm so
How does it
happy-
only have 6%?
Alright, calm down.
I'll never calm down. Anyway,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm thinking of... There are multiple ways I could take this. But... Nah, okay, let's go with this one. It's a coming-of-age, 8th grade sort of affair where it follows Will Ferrell's kid, and he had a kid with an actual elf, So, but it's them trying to live. So, where in the first it would show you him being too large up in the North Pole. Now it'll show you him being too small in like the. Not saying there's a problem with being small. Just going to clarify that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it would then show the juxtaposition between his father and now him living in the everyday world. And then it will sort of be him trying to find his Christmas cheer. He's like, I'm part elf, but I'm really not feeling it. And then there'll be a call me by your name speech from Will Ferrell to his younger son. Then it will be saying how you don't need to be who you think you need to be. You can be who you want to be. And then there'll be a few things, and then it'll be how he's fish out of water instead of in. Like, it will literally just be a contrast to the first one. So he's not feeling it and everything like that. And then it'll be the message of in him no longer feeling like he needs to be the Christmas spirit for his class, and him no longer feeling like he needs to be that elf that his father was. He no longer feels like he needs to be the one to save Santa because Santa's in trouble again.
How is Santa in trouble again?
I'll tell you how Santa's in trouble.
Because if at the end of Elf everyone's been made to believe, why would they stop believing?
Because they could see through Elf's son's fake smile about Christmas. They could be like, well, if he doesn't believe...
But then why don't they just go back to that beautiful news recording where like the boy's reading the book and everyone's like, that's what I wanted for Christmas.
Because this is a Men in Black crossover where they've all forgotten.
No. So Will Smith has just said, everyone please look here.
No, because they ate so much candy that night that they then passed out. And then now they're back with it and they're like, was it a dream? Is it not a dream? And
that
then,
to me is a clear scientific formula.
But some people are like, oh, okay, maybe it was a hoax or whatnot. But anyway, so they'll be like, we can see he's not actually passionate about it, so why should we believe in Santa if he doesn't himself, and he's supposedly supposed to be going to the North Pole for Christmas? What's going on? And then it will be in him finding that he doesn't need to be that person and he can be who he wants to be, that he then finds the Christmas spirit, because it's about giving, not and to the people you love and want to be around, not about who people think that you need to be. Mm-hmm. So in that, people will then find their Christmas spirit, and just before he goes up to the North Pole for the holidays, everyone helps Santa out, and it'll be beautiful. I know this sounds like utter shit, but
tell me who you'd cast as Elf's son.
The kid from Insidious who was in Iron Man 3 and Jurassic
I'm
World.
annoyed you didn't give Insidious a higher rating because it's a really good horror film.
I couldn't get into it. The whole time watching Insidious, it just felt like there was a person behind the camera. I couldn't get into it.
Mate. That's unfortunate because I love it. So, it's very well established at the end of The Princess Switch that
I don't want to listen to it. No.
It's very well established at the end of The Princess Switch that clearly there's another wedding on the cards. Because if you think Maggie, what am I saying? Maggie and Kevin, like, clearly, like, they've done the whole bouquet flowers thing, so it's like they're clearly ready to get married. And he says, like, what you got planned for New Year's? I can't believe Jake has just, like, got his fingers on his ears. Hey, I listened, you will listen. Because you have to give a rebuttal to this argument. Have to. So... You're never gonna watch it.
Yes,
You're
I am.
never gonna watch it.
It's gonna be my favourite film of 2018.
You're never gonna watch it. I sat down to watch it, and this was better than Roma. The Princess Switch. It's probably higher rated on that than Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, as we can clearly see, Stacey and the Prince, they're very happy. Stacey throws the bouquet of flowers, and Margaret catches it, and it's like, oh my god, I'm clearly next to get married. So he turns to Kevin, and then he's like, what you got going on New Year's? So you then have instantly got the perfect idea for a sequel. You set it between Christmas and New Year's, so it's a very short timeline. You could even make it a bit of like a, sort of like a 24 situation where it's like the clock is counting down, because they've got a mad dash to get a wedding ready for New Year's Eve. The princess and Well, actually now, because they're technically both princesses, because she's gone into hiding, whereas she's assumed her identity. They're having...
Spoilers, Zach. Spoilers.
Spoilers for the Princess Switch. I do apologise. Because they can do that. And now, Stacey, whilst they're like planning the marriage, Stacey and the prince, they can try to get to know each other.
I hear Stacey's mum's got it going on.
I hear too. Because Stacey and the prince, they get married at the end of the movie. And they've known each other for maybe 3 days. But he is aware that he's in love with her after 3 days.
I mean, it only feels natural.
It only feels natural in this kind of film. So it's that point, right, well, we get to know each other as we're planning the wedding. Like, this
it turns
brilliant.
into a horror. They despise each
other. No. They continue their love, because I was sold on their love, and I don't want them to fall apart. And the wedding is coming ahead. It looks like it's being planned amazingly. Margaret is ready to marry Kevin. She's ready to give up the princess life. Kevin is the man for her, because she knows. The man on the street told her at the beginning of the movie. But suddenly... we remember the villain from the first Princess Switch movie.
Dun, dun, dun.
The evil couple from the baking competition who tried to spoil Margaret's efforts in the baking competition. They return because they're upset that even after having sabotaged Margaret's work, they could still not get first place. So they return. They kidnap Margaret. And then it's a story from there, because you've got to then have Stacey going for Margaret. But will the prince let her do that by herself? No, he won't. He thinks, I need to come with you. So not only is it a bonding moment for them as they try to rescue Margaret, you've got the thrill of them trying to rescue Margaret. So it's kind of a romance thriller. It's very much like Mr. and Mrs. Smith or Night and Day with Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz, which was an okay movie. In ways, it's the perfect girl and boy film, because you've got them, they're trying to get there before New Year's. The spirit of Christmas is still on them. They save Margaret, and then... will she get to Kevin in time? That's for you then to find out in the film. But it does leave it open for a sequel, for a trilogy of Princess Switch movies. And leave me to say this, because they can throw the bouquet, and then at the very end, the plucky waiter and driver who were in the Princess Switch that you fell in love with in the first one, he could catch the bouquet, because he was a character I was interested in the first one, because he played Mr. Jeffries in Wolfblood. And he's somehow in the Princess Switch, which is quite weird. But that's my idea. I would call it the Princess Switch 2 Rush Hour.
Why not the Princess Switch 2 : Hades?
That's incredible.
If you'd said : Hades, then I'd have instantly given you the point.
Yeah.
But...
I'm really quite astounded at myself there that I could restrain myself and not go further in depth about the Princess Switch, because it is just so great.
I mean, my main point from that is, I agree, Night and Day is alright. It's directed by James Mangold.
Was it really?
But, yeah. But other than that, I don't really know how to counteract it, because
you know how brilliant it is. You know for a fact, Will Ferrell's a busy man.
That's why he's not going to be in it a lot. He's just going to have one really heartfelt scene, very akin to one that's in Thunder Road, where he's there, he's talking about his kid to the parent, and the parent's like, I really don't think he's happy.
James Caan is an older man. Do you really want to force him back into this movie?
I do.
That's not nice. That's not very nice to do something. Vanessa Hudgens is a young working girl. Netflix can afford to lose money on this. James Caan can't. James Caan has got
we
grandkids
wouldn't lose
to
any
look
money
after.
on this. We wouldn't lose any money on this because it would be critically acclaimed. It would be It would just be announced as the best.
How
film
has
of
Jon
all time.
Favreau got time to work on your film though when he's busy on The Mandalorian? How has he got time?
Because
The
he's
Princess
no
Switch
longer
director.
because he's no longer directing The Orville, so he's time now.
He directed the Orville.
He directed the first episode of The Orville.
Fuck me, Jon Favreau, get your name in line and your life, Christ. But I think like the fact that no one's asking for an Elf sequel. No one was like enticed into the idea of a sequel. They came out of Elf and they were like, I enjoyed the ride that I had with that. But the Princess Switch people were coming out desperate to see if that wedding took place. Because he clearly says it, and he's got that charming smile that Kevin's had throughout the whole film, and you're enticed by the look of Kevin. He's got the cleanest, whitest teeth I've ever seen, and you think, this man looks amazing. And you're still seeing it during the wedding, because Stacey's still clearly looks quite worried about the fact she's got to marry a prince. How long have I been going on about the Princess Switch for now?
I don't know how long you've been going on for, but we are now at 2 hours.
This is incredible.
Well, 1:54.
This is incredible. I can go on for another 6 minutes about the Princess Switch, I guarantee.
Please don't.
How dare you besmirch the good name of the Princess Switch? And I'll say this, if you wanted to do an Elf sequel that'd be even better, you do it as the animated story that he is telling in the book. And then you can make it a child-friendly version that hasn't got lots of the profanity of the first one. You can make it more accessible to kids.
Why do you need to make it more accessible to kids?
Because the studio loves to do that so they can get an extra few pennies in their pocket, which will make it more likely to be made. If To All the Boys I Loved Before can get a sequel, the Princess Switch can definitely get a sequel. That's me dropping my mic.
I mean, you still have about 5 minutes to go of your 6 minutes of the Princess Switch.
Do you know, it's like really intense when they do the Bake Off. You won't believe it, because it's like, and then there's the beautiful moment because it's like they've just won first place, and they have to be awarded by the royal family, and then they suddenly see each other, and it's like, oh no, what do we do? The prince will realise.
So as we move into what's appertaining, after we have finished our quickfire question, that
but
poll
yeah,
will
that's for
be
you to vote.
put up on
Elf
Twitter.
And the Princess Switch.
I just hope out of just sheer human decency. I mean, even though you by far gave the better pitch for a sequel, I just hope that out of sheer human decency, people don't
Vote for me.
vote for the Princess Switch.
I hope out of sheer human decency, and because lots of people work very hard on it, that you make an effort to go and watch the Princess Switch sometime this holiday. Because it is incredible and it will change your life. And 24 frames will likely be better for it.
But anyway, what's appertaining? Fucking tons is appertaining. Christmas film wise, I haven't seen as many as I'd like to, but go and see Muppets Christmas Carol in cinema tomorrow.
Good boy.
Which I'm very happy about.
Good boy.
Very, very happy about. Other than that, got a few lined up. Doing my recommendation from last year, Rare Exports. Again, probably tonight, because I haven't seen that in a while.
Good idea. Good idea.
Been meaning to rewatch. Got a few others that I've been meaning to do. I've sort of all but forgotten of 12 Days of Christmas that were planned, but I'll just binge all
we'll
those
do
films.
Next year. We'll do it next year. We'll make a big thing out of it on Twitter. When we're actually more organised and planned, because this was a hefty Christmas. So we got back from Plymouth, and if we weren't scripting or editing or brainstorming, we had to go and do Christmas shopping. That's a hard time, and one of us was very ill, so leave us be. Is that your WhatsApp attend? Mine was even worse.
Dun, dun, dun.
I've watched barely anything that upsets me. I've tried to watch a bit. I'm going to hopefully watch mid-90s when I get home, hopefully. Because that looks beautiful. Apparently it's shot really well. And it'll make me feel sad. And I hope to eventually watch The Haunting of Hill House, finish that this Christmas. And I will watch Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Because, hell yeah. Riverdale's cinematic universe needs to happen. And yeah, by primarily just scripting and filming little bits for our end of year films, which we hope to eventually have out. Because we're being graded on them and then we desperately need them to go well.
Yeah, I'm just on reshoots and Foley at the minute, and then I'm done on one of them, and then
Yeah, I've got
to film the other.
I've got literally 2 minutes to shoot. No, not 2 minutes, like 30 seconds to shoot in the woods, and then I've done with one of them, just got to edit it, and the other I've got to do. It'll take 2 hours, won't be too long at all. Because I've got a very interesting long take planned for it that will be quite difficult because it will involve water, and I don't want the camera near it, but I think it'll be quite brutal. I think it'll make some people in the audience think, oh, that was a bit of a step, but I don't know. Who knows? So that's been our week.
Yeah, now I've been back home, I've been utilising the projector, making sure I watch as much on that as possible. But yeah, we're
very tired.
1 minute 30 away from 2 hours.
We can think of something to talk about for 1 minute 30
We're
seconds.
every fortnight YouTuber.
Hang on, this is something because I made a joke about it at the beginning about fuck Bill Maher, but we didn't actually say rest in peace Stanley. We didn't get a chance to say that on any airwave or anything. Like we both said it on Twitter individually and we made our commiserations, but rest in peace, what a guy.
What an
a time.
absolute bloke.
Yeah. Just
Honestly, in the world of entertainment, he pretty much shaped a lot of what we now know.
for me
and
it's him, and Steve Jobs, like two of those big titans that like crafted the medium and crafted the imagination.
What did Steve Jobs do for film?
Not film. I mean like
Ah,
technology
yeah.
and entertainment.
Yeah. I thought you meant like he directed something. I was like,
No. Like
what?
nobody gave the means to bring Stanley's world to life, and it's like helps.
Yeah, Stanley was a true titan, and it's devastating loss.
Yeah.
But we're like every Fortnite YouTuber that makes each video to 10 minutes long so they can put in as many ads as they can.
Hell yeah.
And we're just trying to make it to... I mean, we have 15 seconds to film before we get to 2 hours.
But we do promise a very big episode next time where we will be discussing certain films as Black Klansman, First Man, Halloween, Into the Spider-Verse, probably A Star Is Born because I'll have then seen it. I'm seeing it on New Year's. Can't fucking wait.
I've been dying to talk to you about that.
I'm annoyed that I haven't been able to watch it. We will try and fit searching in because I enjoyed it. It'd be good to maybe talk about for 5 seconds.
Don't forget the critically acclaimed Predator film that also came out this year.
Yeah, I mean, how could I talk about that when we've also got to talk about Venom?
Knock, knock.
Let the devil
We
in.
will let the devil in.
Let the devil in. I'm going to do the entire thing in a Venom voice.
Good luck to you for that.
I'm
I
going
mean,
to learn the Venom voice.
just for that, I'm going to make sure that we talk about Venom for at least 2 hours, just so it fully kills your throat.
Hell yeah. And what else are we going to talk about that will be some of our final thoughts for the year? I'd like to pop in 8th grade.
Yeah.
Because I love 8th grade.
Well, I have a few other films to pop in. Like, I'm doing a
Bumblebee
video
will hopefully be
recommend.
on that.
Oh, yes. I have a few other films that I'm going to recommend in an upcoming video and then get Zach to see them because they are very good. Very good. But yes, big plans for next year. Big plans.
Why are you doing this in this accent that's like clearly upsetting people?
Yes, always.
Why do you keep on
It's upset people.
doing this? Like, because I mean, there have been many instances this year where I think it's like you kind of have taken it too far and you've just annoyed people and they've said like, "Can you stop?" I mean, Zoe's one of them. She said, "Can you stop?" many a time, and you've thrown it in her face and been rude about her illustrious acting career.
I have never been rude about her illustrious
How dare
acting
you,
career.
sir? How dare you, sir?
You come into this holy house casting aspersions like that. Who do you think you are?
It's literally the scene in Being Human where he tries to walk in uninvited and his skin literally melts off. Oh, it's incredible. It's such a good practical sequence. I love it because he literally looks like he's on fire. Like, you poor fuck.
So that's been our very tangenty, half-hour-long, 2-hour Snowy Popcorn special.
God, we did that, didn't we?
Where we managed to literally bullshit for 2 hours. So I hope, Boulder, you made it this far. I'm sorry if you did.
Sorry if you did. Like, seriously, read a book. Learn a trade. Don't listen to this and then we're convinced to do more of it.
This will be going up Christmas Day if all goes to plan.
Good man.
So,
and if not,
hope you have a Merry Christmas.
And if not, it will stay in the vault and it will be our version of Disney's Song of the South.
Except 100% less racist.
Yeah, but we'll never let it out.
It will be in the Black Archives.
Oh, fuck hell. In the famous words of Charlie Brooker.
Hang on, that's my line.
I don't care.
The famous words of Charlie Brooker. Go away. Thank fuck that's over.
That was so good though. Come on, that was so good. I'm very proud of how we discussed the Princess Switch though.
How you discuss the Princess Switch.
I can't believe you're not excited to watch it after that.
No, I am excited. That's why I didn't want you to spoil it. How could
But I haven't really spoiled it.
Could you?
I haven't really spoiled it that much.